Hello gamers and welcome back to Season 3 of the Call of Duty Mobile Community Challenge for ANZ. We're in the last day of Grand Finals, which the entirety of the previous month's play has been leading up to. I'm Mendrix. Joining me is Earthquake Sticks Kwan. How are you feeling this afternoon?
Thanks, Mendrix. I'm feeling great, and I'm hoping to see some Earthquake Sticks in these matches.
I'm really excited to see some too. And of course, the brains of the outfit, the fake yet real Mal. How are you, mate?
I'm going good. How about you?
I am excited. I am eccentric every single way, every single E you could possibly throw into this. That is what I am today. But before we do go any further, let's bring up the prize pool so we can see what the players are competing for today. And as we can see, the top prize, which are 3 teams that are still left, have their eye on, is $3,000. But there is still plenty left in the kitty for all of those who participated today. And it's pretty good seeing that this community is providing that, or Activision is providing that for the community.
Absolutely. It's such a great prize pool to see that supports, our up-and-coming talent, gives them something to play for, lets the top teams really stabilize themselves as pro players, and really reaching for something to reward their efforts. But also, when we think of the younger community that's playing in the background as well, it's all about aspiration and that ladder of progress for them that, they know every year, every day they put into this, they can grow as a career and we get to showcase their talent.
Absolutely. Really excited to see what ends up happening as this tournament progresses in the final day. And let's bring up the brackets. Let's have a look to see how the tournament's going so far. And as we can see there, Mindfreak up against Pride X Ivory completely were able to smash out that competition. And it was the same scenario for IFM versus XF. As we can see there, Pride X Ivory still alive in the competition, managing to knock out XF. And we get to see what's going to be happening next. And speaking of which, let's bring up the schedule for today so we can see what we do have to go through. So first up will be Mindfreak versus IFM. And this is an important match because we get to see how IFM finally perform in the finals for Mindfreak, which will sort of decide who might be in that second or third place. I'm not saying anything too much crazy right now because we're thinking Mindfreak's probably going to be the favorites here. Isn't that right, Mal?
Yeah, pretty much. They've been dominating all competition and previous AEL seasons as well. Absolutely true in that sense as well. So really excited to see what's going to be happening next. I do want to just go for a bit of a chat here now. Bring up the graphics or some of the player stats that we've got available for you. Mindfreak, we do have that up and available now. Let's have a look to see what we've got on the table. And let's see here, Mindfreak's player stats. Now, guys, this is a little bit of a refresh from yesterday. If you're watching from before, you can see that we've got the same stats as before. But because of this, we are looking to see some of the favorite things that we've got there. And also for all of you that are new joining us today, you get to see an idea of what these players like. And I mean, Rayka, Dinka, they do like their melee weapons. They like to jump in there and make something happen. And is there anything that really stands out to you guys in these player stats that we've got available? Well, it looks like Raika really likes the shipment map.
Shipment's a great map.
Yep, it's very good for grinding your camos, that's for sure.
Is that what you do typically? Like shipment, that's like every day I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend at least, probably 4 hours of my day just grinding out, and shipment is where I'm going to be stuck for that entire time. Well, look, we still have to take into account their competition, and that, of course, is going to be IFM. So let's bring up their player statistics as well, just to have a look to see what's happening. And when we do bring them up, IFM have a bit of a different thing. Danger or DX Danger, Fiend, Mad Max, Natty, pretty decent stuff there. Pretty standard actually. When I look at their player statistics, their favorite maps, their favorite weapons, but really, from IFM yesterday, we saw Danger performing extremely well. So pretty excited to see how that player jumps into it. Quan, is there anyone else that you're looking out for with this team?
Oh, look, like Danger, absolutely the big standout, but Fiend, right? We've got to remember that he went huge on one of those maps and just dropped. I think it was a 15 bomb and search and destroy. Some incredible amount of frags there. That being said, Natty being the shot caller, he's someone that we also want to look out for because, if we see the team performing well and keeping together, we know that Natty's putting in the work, even though he might not be dropping frags on the board.
Absolutely. Well, I'm pretty excited for that there. I think the teams are just getting themselves ready to roll, and we'll be jumping into it shortly. Before they are getting ready, and before we do jump into it, Mao, is there any predictions today for Mindfreak versus IFM? Anything that you could think would happen? We are expecting Mindfreak. I mean, they are the favorites here, but IFM, they really performed well against XF yesterday, and we have seen XF perform pretty well against Mindfreak in the past.
Well, I think if it's going to be anything similar to what we've already seen in the previous 2 AL seasons, I think it's going to be Mindfreak taking out this win over IFM.
Fair enough. And we do now have the map pool ready and set to go. Let's bring that up so we can have a look at what's happening there. And as we can see there, guys, at the moment, it is going to be Hardpoint on Hackney Yard first up. Search and Destroy Firing Range as the second map. Domination Summit for the third. And if we still have some time, we'll bring you Hardpoint, Standoff, and Search and Destroy Raid, because this is a best of 3. Now, a best of 5, sorry. And the whoever gets to 3 first will be able to take this out. And when I look at the bans as well, Crossfire banned away, Takeoff banned away, very, very particular bans here, because Crossfire has been just taken off the map completely for finals. Is there any particular reason why? Is it just too versatile for most of these teams? What would be the reasoning for that one now?
Well, the reason behind this ban is because it's just not as favored as the other maps, because all the other maps that you can see on screen are just very well played and very popular for the community, and Crossfire is down there as one of the lesser favorited maps, and some people can often say that it's one-sided in Search and Destroy and Hardpoint.
Fair enough there. I think with Takeoff as well, it's pretty interesting to see that one being taken away. We did get to see a few matches yesterday on that map, but there is a lot of different avenues to actually jump in, attack in different ways, perhaps even surprise your opponent. So I guess these teams are just looking for what happens to be a bit more of the well-known maps rather than with Takeoff, which still is yet to be completely discovered, I believe.
Absolutely. I mean, these kind of maps, right? Like, there's going to be tactical reasons why they're being banned, and I would say that, you know, they're looking at each other, they're looking at what they're capable of. Crossfire, there's a lot of long range, potential in that. So if you eliminate that, you're not going to be worrying about the current meta being challenged, which is SMGs, right? So all these maps, especially Hackney Yard, they start to favor the SMG meta, and if everyone's comfortable with that, everyone's feeling strong doing that, then that's what we're going to watch.
Yeah, the SMG meta has really been basically dominating the entire competition. We have seen a few changes where I believe the QXR has fallen out of favor. The Bisons are still being used, but the Fenix now have been picked up. Mal, can you give us a little bit of insight into why the Fenix now are becoming more popular over what was previously dominating the field?
Well, recently the Fenix has received a buff which increased its potential in many areas, such as vertical recoil control. It also got a magazine buff and a damage range, also some other buffs which I can't really remember off the top of my head. So it's just recently become a very viable weapon for close range. It just shreds.
Oh, you see it too. Like it unloads that whole clip so fast and has stable recoil, right? So it's such a preferable SMG to be using, and we saw that yesterday. In pretty much every Hackney Yard that was streamed, teams were deferring to a full Fennec loadout, pretty much, which is so effective in those tight, constricted situations that Hackney Yard puts the players in. It's very, very effective. You can just unload real quick into into the face of the player in front of you. So, yeah, I think it's really, really strong meta.
I think something else to take into account here is Mindfreak and IFM do have a bit of a history in this circuit, not just in the ANZ circuit, but through other circuits as well. Mal, I believe you've got a little bit of that history down pat. You know, IFM, they've been around for a while. Well, what's the go there? So, and also, let's have a look at Mindfreak as well while you're at it.
Oh, yeah. So first, let's go to Mindfreak. So Mindfreak, they've always been like one of the top teams in Australia competitive scene. However, they haven't always been known as Mindfreak. They initially started off as a team named Reaper Killers, which was formed by my darling. As you can see, he will be playing today. He's still with the team. And as the team went on, he acquired his lineup got acquired by an organization called CBK Esports. So that went on for some time, and then that team, which was known as CBK Reapers, they continued to go on to become the number one team in Asia, being an Australian team playing on ATMS, while all these players from India are playing on very low ping, which is just an amazing accomplishment. However, their lineup did end up getting acquired by Mindfreak Esports, which is a very well-known team in Australia for not just COD, it's also Valorant, COD, Cold War, and many other games.
Oh, excellent to see. Do you have any details on IFM as well, or they're just a bit too fresh into the scene for us to get that juicy information on?
Well, personally, I haven't known them as much as Mindfreak. However, they do have a very good history. I remember back in Season 1 and Season 2 of Ranked, when I was versing them, they were just destroying me, honestly. They've always been up the top, number 1 or number 2, nothing else.
Yeah, I'm really loving that personal insight. Mindfreak, again, you just mentioned powerhouses, not just in the COD mobile community, but throughout a number of games as well. And it makes complete sense that Mindfreak would pick up this team coming into it as well. And we really see My Darling. I mean, he's been there the entire time. He's also one of the key players as well. I mean, quite even you were talking about it beforehand. There's no real weak point in the team, but if I had to say there was a standout, it really does feel like it's My Darling.
Look, My Darling, and I'm going to say, he's a really, really strong player for holding the team together, and you can see him perform so well. It's very, very rare in an FPS that a squad can have an effective player who's very good at roaming, and he's very good at it. And it gives them so many tactical options that other teams are just not going to benefit from, because he can just break position, try out a flank, and he's going to win those engagements. Which means that there's very low risk in that. And the exciting thing about that for Mindfreak is it puts them on a stage in the world that I think is really impressive for our region and for everyone that gets to verse them as well, to learn from. The other thing I want to add about Mindfreak is their team synergy benefits from the fact that they were all friends, and so they've known each other from the start. They've known each other outside of the game really well. It is a shame that we don't get to see Elevate on the squad this season, but they're still so incredibly strong. And that's the kind of thing that we want to remind everybody, that this is a team that know each other really well. They've played together for a long, long, long time, and they've got so much more to give and offer in the competitive landscape. And I think that's going to be something that for today's finals, the other two teams, IFM and Pride X Ivory, are going to be really challenged by how do they step up to this level of a back-to-back season champion and a team that's just proving to be so strong.
Well, I have basically picked up from our production team that the teams are ready to roll. We'll be able to jump straight into it. This will be the final match of the winners bracket that will be deciding who will be pushing forward into that final spot, and deciding who will have to battle it out in the losers bracket below. It is going to be Mindfreak up against IFM, and I'm super excited to jump into it. That first map is going to be Hardpoint, and we're going to be checking to see if both these teams decide to just rush in there, make something happen, or perhaps decide to sit back a little bit, look for those pinches. Mal, what do you reckon it's going to be?
Right now, I reckon we're going to be seeing Mindfreak just slaying out. They're going to be going to go as hard as they can, just aggressively.
And with that being said, IFM are the ones rushing in first. I mean, Mindfreak are looking a little bit careful on the side here. IFM managed to jump themselves onto the point, so there's going to be a little bit of that. Never mind that. Actually, Mindfreak's the first one onto the point there. Excuse me on that one. Supreme jumped in very quickly.
Yeah, look, this is such a contentious spot on Hardpoint in Hackney Yard in that Annexure there. It's so compressed. There's so many access points, and to hold it, you're just incredibly vulnerable. And you are seeing that everyone's got Bisons, Fenix, and so on for this very reason. And whilst Mindfreak have taken it first, the trading's going to keep happening. That contending's going to keep happening that we're watching right now. And IFM really need to find a footing in there. It's also a high-risk Hardpoint because your utilities are going to do so well. So these grenades that they're starting to use are going to be really effective. And there you go. It trades back to IFM, who can start putting some points on the board as they look to the next Hardpoint. Both teams starting to jockey already for this second Hardpoint. And letting Mindfreak leaving IFM to even out the scores from the previous Hardpoint, almost 25 apiece, whilst they control or they attempt to control the new Hardpoint here in the dock building.
It's just really showing that IFM is here to play. They want to make sure they're going to be on top of it. Mindfreak, again, managing to edge out that lead. But, of course, a number of members of IFM continuing to build up. Now, you can see the communication from these teams are basically on point. But this is a fantastic spot to be here to stop that next level of the event. You chip off a few members before they get in. And Mindfreak are now starting to pull away.
Yeah, they are. They're almost double the points in lead over IFM. Great performance by the team so far. Great frags. They're supporting each other. You can see they've got Chill up on the top level there, and they've got 2 players down in the bottom, one in Garage and one holding this doorway. They're really locking down the hard point to hold it and collect as many points as they can and make the most of this advantage they're holding right now. While IFM are just struggling to find an access point, and every door and window they look through, there is a Mind Freak player ready to face check them, which is such an incredible hold strat that they've got down, and the confidence they're showing that they can hold is incredible. So we're getting into the third hard point now. IFM already on it, but leaving Mind Freak to scramble. But that's fine because Mind Freak have picked up so many points in the second hard point. They can play for this third one, even though IFM currently have it.
But you can see now Mind Freak are beginning to encroach in. They're throwing down the utilities and nades. Again, this is a bit more of an open space, so they're not as beneficial, but still effective. Also see an Annihilator being pulled out as well here by Chill just to pull things away. And Mind Freak, once again, back on the point, continue to rack up those points. And we were looking at this, yes, looking competitive at the start, but towards the end of this round, it has been completely all Mind Freak. And these Annihilator kills from Chill have no chill.
Yeah, he has no chill, does he? It's such a great play. They've earned their Annihilators. They've pulled them out to just hold this third hard point and just keep dropping IFM and sending them packing. Even Danger is struggling right now to put some frags on the board in this mess of a matchup. And a double frag goes straight down to the fighter. It's almost if Mind Freak lined up for him there. But it's such a huge lead that Mind Freak are building here. 130 on the board against 28. IFM are really under pressure to pull whatever they can out. They're all holding their Annihilators in reserve at the moment, which we might see for this next hard point as a tactical play to just gain some control.
Well, now that's at 120 points in Mind Freak's way, I guess now would be the point they do need to pull it out as well. We can see Toka has his available at this point. We do have turrets going down. All the score streaks are being used with the utility by Mind Freak to maintain this point. And it just feels like they have infinite resources back to back. Chill getting another kill off this, and it's just making it so hard for IFM to get in because they're just spreading it so well. They're really rationing every single resource to its utmost limit.
Chill is really reading Mind Freak here. IFM, as you can see, he just went up, did a flanking maneuver, came back through the main doorway, and just picked up a couple extra frags. And that's just showing how in the zone Mind Freak have come into this matchup. While IFM, I think, are just being taken by surprise as they close out map 1 in favor.
I feel like this is one of those moments where you're at school and someone decides just to pull down your pants out of the blue, and you're like, "What are you doing? That's crazy." There's a little ball like
what you said
exactly. Yeah, pretty much. They just came through, did a bit of a quick jacking. You're wondering what's going on, and then while that's happening, they've grabbed the soccer ball, scored 3 goals, and you don't really know what to do afterwards. And these are one of those things that really just show us how strong Mind Freak are. We're expecting IFM to probably bring it a little bit more into it, but wow, that was a crazy quick hard point. Mal, what have you got to say about that? What was different there from Mind Freak in comparison to IFM?
Just the way they're able to apply quick pressure so amazingly well, and the way they just break the hard points when IFM do get the chance to get them. It's just amazing.
Yeah, you could really see they're just, they've come in hot and ready to go, right? Really warmed up. They've got to focus, and they've pretty much planned how they're going to take these hard points. You could see it. It's just clean execution. IFM grabbed it or would contend it, and they had a play. They exit the site, come back in as a group, and retook it. So that really made it hard. If I was in IFM's position, I'd be just confused. You'd go in expecting to pick up some frags and drop Mind Freak, but they've vacated the hard point and then they're behind you. So it's a really, really a great show from Mind Freak for the first map to say, we're here, it's finals day, and we're going to take number 1. And if you want to take us on, you really should have brought more.
So hot, they seem to be straight fire at the moment. And when I look what's going to be coming next, things need to slow down. They need to chill out a little bit. Even Chill's going to say, you know what, guys, let's take it a bit slow, because it is, of course, going to be the search and destroy. Just running in, dying is probably not the most smartest idea. And, of course, these players need to just relax a little bit. Now, in the search and destroy, we have seen IFM perform very well against most other teams as well. I mean, specifically against Pride X Ivory and XF. Now, is this going to be a different story coming into it against Mind Freak? Will we see it be a little bit more competitive? Because I know IFM are pretty good when it comes to initiating strategies and making it work now.
Yeah, in SMD, I really do see IFM shine. However, Mind Freak's power is just unmatched right now. I feel like we're going to see another Mind Freak win.
I mean, look, it was 3-0 yesterday. This basically just wants to solidify that idea that we are the ones to win this competition. And, of course, be that benchmark for the rest of the teams to look up to. Of course, that does mean that everyone below you is just going to get hungrier and hungrier every single time. And these community competitions will continue to drive that. So really excited to see these teams begin to bridge that gap or perhaps even do it today. What do you think, Kwan?
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting when we see how Pride X Ivory performs whoever they've got to verse, right? We're not calling it just yet between Mindfreak and IFM. IFM have so much potential under their hood as well. They are the consistent number 2 in the region. They've got so much opportunity before them to close this gap, and maybe we see that in this next map or the one after. Being a best of 5, there's so many maps in front of us. But I think, seeing that opening performance, IFM, it was like a shock, right? So I think IFM will be scrambling now as they get ready into this next map to say, okay, it's search and destroy. We can slow the whole pace of it down. Let's try some things here and let's try and break Mindfreak and let's see if we can, what they can show us to do that.
Well, we are going to be jumping into it. Again, it's going to be that search and destroy on firing range. Mindfreak currently 1-0 up. Really excited for us to see how this one's going to play out. Will IFM be able to stem the bleeding with the fact that we're going to have a bit more of a slower game coming into it, or Mindfreak continue to run it away with the show? As you can see, teams already beginning to make their rushes across the board here. It's going to be Mindfreak making a quick move towards this B site just to see if they can slow down IFM. And IFM are playing a bit slow, but they're beginning to lose members, and this is not working out for them straight away. But nice pickups from IFM. Already 2 members down for Mindfreak. We might see a little bit of that momentum shift in the favor of IFM.
Yeah, and we know that Fiend and Danger are such good fraggers. So getting those two picks up, giving a 4-3 advantage in IFM's favor is a really healthy sign to see here. This is the kind of thing that enables an attacking team to take a site, which they are. They're working A, and they've just looks like they're going to be able to put the bomb down now, putting Mindfreak in a situation of retaking. They're going for a good rotate where they're doing a pincer, but it's a 3v3 now. Great pick by Chill, taking down Fiend, one of the stronger players, and another pick goes up for Mindfreak that puts it into a 3v1 situation. It's all in favor of Mindfreak as they wipe them out before the bomb goes down. That was an impressive retake by Mindfreak. Really, really well executed.
Yeah, their hesitation is just not there. The ability for them to execute when they have made a decision on a play is second to none. That pincer maneuver coming around had me a little bit worried. I thought maybe they're spreading out their resources, which is already thin because they were down that one player. But in the end, it's not going to happen. As we can see, rushing into it straight away again. IFM off to a quick start, managing to get one of the members of Mindfreak. And now they're going to have to reposition on this one. Mindfreak again trying to come into it. Looks like it's going to be B site once again. And they're going to have to look for a retake as that bomb is being planted.
Yeah, and so, we've got both teams here on B side, 2 against 5 on Mindfreak side. I mean, we've seen them do it before, but this is a really difficult situation to come back from when the whole IFM's up and they've already got the site under control, able to plant there at B. And, it's just one of those things where we watched Fiend pick up that entry frag. It opened up opportunities for IFM to fall on the site and gave them this round.
And there we go. Things starting to flip around a little bit. And when I look at the way IFM performed there, this is a completely different view from the previous teams that competed against Mindfreak. You can see they're being extremely competitive. Of course, it's still relatively early into the round, but typically IFM are taking the kills first, which normally Mindfreak are the ones on the market for. So this is looking really good. I'm really excited to see how this plays out.
Yeah, like Natty just running into a grenade and face checking Chill, trading each other. That was an incredible, incredible aggressive move. But it does give away the play for Mindfreak to know that they can rotate up on A. There is a great flanking position set up by IFM to drop that flanking move. Now it's just 3v3. Both knowing exactly where they are down by back barn and between trailer, working A site. So now Mindfreak do need to send another player rotating around to make sure IFM don't back out and move back to B. And that's a great pick by IFM there, putting it into a 2v3 situation. This is just going to make it a little bit easier. Again, that rotate coming through, the calls coming out saying, hey, I was picked up back from near red toilets. And so, Mindfreak cleaning up that play, but it's still a 2v1 situation here as they rotate down to B, leaving Supreme all alone, working A from back barn. And he doesn't know if that rotate's happened yet or not. He just has to guess at it in this 1v2 situation.
Seems to be having those spider senses tingling, making that move around now. IFM well and truly in position, but they're still being cautious as they move in towards this B side, understanding that maybe that rotation has come through for Mindfreak. But they do have the bomb in hand. There isn't any way for that to actually be zoned out, and the bomb has been planted. The trigger has been pulled, and now it's up to the remaining member of Mindfreak, Supreme, to jump in there and clutch this out, and that is going to be a hard task to pull out. A shot goes through, but it's not going to find any markers. And now as he knows they're going to be sitting there in that area, he needs to find a way in. The counter is counting down as we speak. 30 seconds soon to be under. And this is getting a bit rushed for...
He's going to have to make a play now, right? And IFM are going to be really cautious of Supreme because he is Mindfreak sniper, and he's just looking for those quick shots. He's not getting them. He's in the worst position right now against someone. And he does get the frag. That is an incredible play, dodging bullets left, right, and center. He's gone to the pistol. His secondary, not his primary. The fighter wins out that duel, but incredibly dangerous. Supreme is a very, very good sniper that I think, IFM knew that, and they were positioning themselves that whole play there to make sure they were avoiding any quick scopes.
Yeah, Mindfreak may have been down in that situation, but you can still not count them out. IFM do manage to make them sit down just a little bit, now taking the lead in the search and destroy. We're now making our move into that next map. This time, things looking a little bit different for IFM, who are not rushing a specific location, but choosing to play it a little bit slower, waiting for the picks, and then to make the move directly afterwards. But they do find one. Fiend manages to get a kill onto Chill, and now that communication's coming out. But of course, IFM, once again, off to a good start.
We do have to talk about how well Fiend is getting these frags. He's consistently grabbed the first frag in each round, and that's something that we've got to rest on here. That IFM have picked their entry fragger, and they're working those picks, and they've been quite effective at it, allowing them to open up in this round a 3v5 situation now. So this is just giving them a lot of map control. They're able to fall in on A, working a great flank by Fiend. They're just in a great position to pick up a third frag, putting into a 2v5 situation. Fiend is really playing Mindfreak at their own game, and I think Mindfreak are going to have to keep watching out for where Fiend is.
Looking at a completely different IFM from the hard point that we saw before. Now they're in the lead, not only into this third round as well, looking to clutch this one out, but also the fact that they are taking Mindfreak to school in this search and destroy. And this is something that maybe could have just been the nerves. They were a bit shaky at the start, but they've played through their first game. They've warmed up. We do have a little bit of a cat and mouse chase here at the moment, and as we can see, IFM continuing to clean up these members from Mindfreak, but it is really going to be on this last member here trying to get in as well. Does put around the corner, but Danger happily chilling out on the side, and he'll clean it up for IFM.
Absolutely. That was a great play there by IFM. They knew that the bomb was down, the clock was ticking away, and if you don't feel confident beating the play in the aim duel, just delay, and that really slowed down Tucker and then put him under a lot of pressure to make quick mistakes as he had to rush in to trailer there and gave himself to danger.
Well, very quick trades coming across here again. IFM now on top, and they've managed to take out three members from Mindfreak very quickly. IFM, what are you guys on at the moment? I would like to have a bit of a taste.
Yeah, look, this is such a strong, confident play there that they've brought to Search and Destroy. Heavy rushes. It's a 1v3 situation. This is all down to Mindfreak now. Can they take out these three IFM players? The bomb has not been put down just yet. They are working that. He is in a crossfire. He gets one, but takes a shot in the back of the head from the fighter. And that gives 4 points on the board against 1 for IFM against Mindfreak in map 2.
Well, with this swap coming through, now things are going to have to change a little bit. Mal, do you have any comments on the way IFM is playing? What's their secret to really take down the Titans, which are Mindfreak at the moment?
Not gonna lie, I'm very surprised by IFM's performance right now. They've definitely shown me what they're capable of compared to what I thought they were capable of. They've done something and it's working for them.
Well, we'll have to see if we can get a chance to isolate what that something is. And no members have gone down yet. IFM are the defenders this time around, which means more than happy to sit into it. But we can see nice big pickups here coming once again. But wow, IFM just completely exploding onto the map. And what was a 5v5, what felt like for a minute, is now down to a 2-on-1. We can see sniper shots are coming through, but they're not going to be able to find the mark. Supreme is now looking to plant the bomb.
That was a defense.
And there it is.
Oh, the defuse. I mean, there you go. So quick on that sense.
There was a couple of good things there, right? We saw that IFM played a very aggressive defense. They started pushing out, but it did give a player like My Darling the opportunity to get in behind them and pick up 2 great frags, which was unfortunate. But, IFM's aggressive play caught Mindfreak, their pants down essentially, and were able to pick them apart in the bomb site and get that defuse while Supreme was just unable to open up. And that's something I think they're going to try to do here. They're going to try and close this round out and finish off this map, as it is a 5-1. So they're all pushing down. They're not defending. They're just pushing very quickly. No one was at B. They know the bomb's down, gone on A, and they're all just going to rotate right through in a big wave of red. Can they take them down? It's 4 against 4. There's just so much face checking happening right now. They're just throwing themselves in there. It's 2-4. It's working in their favor. 2-3. Can they get the last 2 Mindfreak players? Can they get the bomb? It is all in favor of IFM. They've closed out map 2. We haven't seen this for a while. Well done, IFM. Get that defuse, type in the code, and take that home to everyone watching.
They can bleed. IFM showing us that they do have what it takes, something a little bit special underneath the hood, like you said yesterday, Kwan, to really bring it to Mindfreak. And it feels like it was that scenario of, hey, Mindfreak, you DAC us this round, we're going to DAC you this round. That was really impressive play from IFM.
It was absolutely incredible. I think they didn't let up the momentum either. They found the weakness. They got Mindfreak put, off footing, and they exploited it the whole way through. When the sides swapped, the worry there was Mindfreak goes into attack, and then IFM starts playing really static defense, right? And then Mindfreak can just break into a site and start collecting rounds. But IFM continued their aggressive play for those last 2 rounds on the other side, and it worked for them. Mal, tell me, is there anything more you could say to that would really help us understand how IFM took that away?
Well, I'm just blown away by IFM's performance. But not only did they just beat Mindfreak, it was 1-6.
Yeah, it was really, really convincing. And I've seen this in a lot of S&D style modes in FPSs across the board. And when you watch that happen here, the mentality is momentum. Mm-hmm. IFM caught Mindfreak out and found their swing, and it kept working. And they just didn't let up. They pretty much did the same thing right through all 7 rounds. And that was just something that they found the swing of. Fiend was finding his picks, and IFM was able to capitalize on that really, really well. And Mindfreak just couldn't have an answer. Just didn't have an answer. And that was really good. Yeah.
If it's not broken, why fix it? That was exactly the case. They just realized the strategy was working. They just kept up on it. What I do like is that last little twitch or little change towards the end where they understood, hey, we're on match point. This is something that they've probably have never been in, or if they have been in this scenario before, it has been a long time since they felt this. They're going to probably be hesitating. They understood that, and they rushed straight in, and they took advantage of that. It's not just the strategy, the mechanics, the play. It's also the mind games that's really important in this competition, and really happy to see that IFM have the capability to actually identify that and make that happen as well. And
could you imagine the hype? Yeah, sorry, Mendrix. Can you imagine the hype that they would have been screaming at each other? Yes. Like, yeah, let's go, get it. I don't got the frag. Like, the excitement would have been there, and that's all the momentum they needed to close that one out. Let's see how we go into map 3. Yep. I think, with it being domination, it's going to be one of those moments where IFM are hyped up now, right? And so they're going to have a really good chance to keep carrying that frag play right into domination, and I'm really keen to see if they start picking up some good points here and maybe get the second map.
Well, it's currently 1-1 between IFM and Mindfreak. Pretty crazy to see this be the case. Not expected at all, but pretty happy, I must admit. And again, domination is all about that slayings, about that frags. We're looking at Fiend here. We're going to be looking at Danger to really perform for IFM. And on the flip side of things, we're looking at Supreme. We're looking at Chill to bring that performance that we know they're capable of as well. And the other thing to take into account here, domination is more of a zoning game. It is about making sure that you control specific points that are going to be static the entire way through. So it might actually be a pretty competitive across the map. And already those first kills are coming out.
Oh yeah, and look, this is where it's going to really start getting intense as they all move to B. We've got a great flank here, Danger right in behind, not able to pick up too much though, but put some pressure on them. And this is the kind of thing that you want to see when you're playing something like domination. You've got to keep opening up the pressure on each zone. And C is now falling to IFM. This is they're trading A though, so no one's grabbed B. They've just swapped C and A. This is great. Both teams opting for the same strategy at the moment. But look at this, Fiend just in a a great position to pick up some great frags. Danger working well again. This is the two great fraggers just going face to face at the moment against Mindfreak and really opening up some opportunities for IFM. They've traded ANZ again. Both teams just swapping orders at the moment. No one's grabbed B just yet.
Just look at it like, why would we go for B when we can just take yours, okay? All right, that's just what we're going to do. We're just going to keep taking yours in return. What do you mean they rotated to ours? Damn, all right, let's rotate back. Okay, let's rotate again. I think it's just one of those things where, you know what, maybe we want to just avoid going for the fight. Finally, Mindfreak go, this is ridiculous, okay? Let's just spread out a little bit, hold both C and B. We've managed to get 2 on the mark, and finally now Mindfreak are beginning to push that little bit further ahead, and now they're finally in the lead or actually matching those points.
Absolutely, and look, that was a great way for Mindfreak to get a bit of a head here. But already there's a response from IFM as they're working C. This is going to be really close. I don't think we're going to really know who's getting ahead maybe until the second half. Great fragging right there from IFM, getting 2 in the door. A third comes up for the fighter. He's really playing it well here, and that's going to open up B for IFM, who put 2 zones on the board now to really help him get some points up there.
Such a key moment there, the fighter managing to pull off enough frags to open up this B site for IFM and begin to even up the score that Mindfreak was trying to edge out. And now they're continuing to play out as well. So much happening. Natty now is on a bit of a frag spree, but of course 3 members strong from Mindfreak, they will be able to take him out and begin to work this A side.
Yeah, what I find really tough is when you get stuck with just B as your only zone, because you're now constantly having to push outwards against both sites, and that means B is very easy to capture from you from the other team. So there is a bit of a tactical downside right now for IFM, where they're fighting to just get 2 points and just level out and have a safe point where you're only going in one direction. And they do. They get C and B. They're really playing this so well, putting Mindfreak into a bit of a dazzle there, leaving them on A only. And this is going to be neck and neck. As I said before, this is right down to the wire, I think, all the way through. This is great play from both sides. The frags are quite even. You've got strong performances coming up from both sides. All players contributing great frags and holding their zones. And I think this is just what we want to see for this finals day.
This is what we're hoping for. Our new team rising to the occasion, finally challenging ability to knock them off their pedestal. And this is definitely Mindfreak a bit hot under the collar now, trying to make things work. My IFM now pushing in front of the lead, 61-58. Mindfreak need to make a quick move now to get something back, whether it's C, and it seems to be C is what's being worked at the moment in time. But IFM, of course, do not want to give that up without a fight, and they've managed to recapture that point and remove that progress.
Yeah, I think I'd really love to see the scoreboard at the end of this map, just to see who's been fragging well, because IFM just seem to be picking up frags left, right, and center. They're really leaning into those Fennecs that they're rolling, and they've got a constant response every time a frag comes up. As first half goes to IFM, every time a frag comes up from Mindfreak, IFM seem to be putting 2 or 3 more on the board in response. So Mindfreak are really getting locked down, and there it is. So Natty really putting some points on the board with 12 there. The fighter 15, getting supported quite well by all 3 other players, and you can see it. Mindfreak don't actually really have a high fragger right now in comparison.
And you can see that's picking up, though. That was a pretty decent nade on the side here to knock out the fighter. And Mindfreak now beginning to strike back fast and strong, see if they can get themselves back onto the board. 76 still in the favor here, or 77 to 68. But Mindfreak now trying to get control of the C side. Looks like it's going to be a trade once again, as both teams are taking what is theirs instead. It's going to be A for IFM. And as you can see, Mindfreak are taking C and B. And now finally, Mindfreak are going to start to try and close the gap that IFM had managed to build up in the previous round.
Yeah. Fighter's putting in a lot of work here at B. He's just picked up 2 frags, opening up. He's got to face 3 more Mindfreak players, and he doesn't hold on to it. But that's going to open up a lot of potential for Fiend to come in here with the Annihilator and start picking up more frags. But he's just unable to find that shot. Chill playing him so well and putting him down. Keeping that site safe. That leaves C and B closing the gap on IFM rapidly right now. And A is under pressure now as well. Will we see a total domination by Mindfreak, or is IFM going to say, no thanks, we don't want to be played like that today? And there it is. It comes in total domination for Mindfreak. All 3. That's an A, B, C. You could almost say easy as 1, 2, 3 for Mindfreak.
Yeah, Mindfreak out of the blue just managed to eclipse IFM. A number of the Annihilators were being used or being implemented by IFM, but then they just fell down directly after these skills were activated. And Mindfreak directly afterwards getting that total domination, managing to basically take what was one of the most effective operating skills completely now. And now this is beginning to turn around. Mindfreak, look at this, 104 to 106. That total domination giving them such a big pickup in the lead. Now it's up to IFM to start chasing their tails, actually chase behind Mindfreak to catch back up.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, the clock's on the board now. There's pressure here. IFM need to regroup, find out how they were keeping neck and neck with Mindfreak and just start recapturing. They're going to work B, though. It seems like Mindfreak doesn't have much of a response here. There's only one player. They take him down. They opens up B for IFM. They've got to secure it. Bodies on the zone. They can't get bodies on the zone now as a sentry gun goes down, blocking that capture of B. This is getting really tough for IFM now. You can see Mindfreak have found their groove on the map. They're capturing A as well again for a second total domination. This is not looking great for IFM at all. This is just going to rack up points in favor of Mindfreak so fast, and you don't want to see that when it's so close to the finish line as we get very close to this one closing out. And IFM, they're just struggling to even just get C now. This is just not working in their favor. 10 more points for Mindfreak to close it out. They do pick up C. It's not enough. You got to get it. IFM are going to need to convert B and A to really close this gap at this point. Otherwise, we're watching map number 3 go to Mindfreak.
Yeah, they may have actually been able to pick up C and stem the bleeding, but of course they're still at the point where they're going to be bleeding out. And they've managed to capture another site here, but it's been traded back for C. And Mindfreak definitely comfortably taking the victory here on this third map. And of course, it's going to be the Summit domination going the way of Mindfreak. It was looking really good for IFM at the start. They managed to actually push out an advantage coming up first in that first half, but then that second round, it was just all Mindfreak. Was that reset of mentality and that swap around really what they needed, Mao?
Well, as you saw, yeah, IFM did have the point advantage at the halftime mark. However, during the second half, both teams had Annihilators, both teams had the score streaks, so it just showed that Mindfreak were able to utilize the operators and score streaks better to capture the points.
We definitely saw that. IFM got shut down when they pulled out all of their streaks, and whereas Mindfreak was able to actually deploy them and really use them effectively. And as much as it was close in that first half, that pause in play when you hit the 75 point mark will really tell you who in the second half is going to break away, because it's just like, you're in the zone, you're playing, you're fragging, you're sliding, you're doing everything you want. And then you just got to stop, wait a few seconds, and then go again. And whoever breaks out of the gate there, takes it. And that was definitely Mindfreak. And that's just showing Mindfreak's, their history, their skill, their capability. But it was very close. I mean, 100 to go 100, 150, that's showing that it was close. That's not a clean win.
Oh, well, absolutely. The real reason why there was that little bit of an edge in points is because there was those total dominations. And yes, they're hard to pick up, but sometimes you do need a bit of an eclipse, the planets to align in order to pull that one off. And again, it was the fact a number of the score streaks, a number of the operative skills were being deployed by IFM, and they just got shut down. If a few of those managed to get through, we might have seen a completely different result. That being said, we'll be moving into map 4 now. It's going to be back to Hardpoint, and it is going to be us on standoff. And I don't think we've got a chance to see much of standoff, purely because it's been pretty much 3-0 sweeps throughout this competition for the final so far. Mal, can you give me an idea? How does Hardpoint standoff work?
Well, Hardpoint standoff, it's a very versatile map. There's a lot of different places. If you want to play an AR, there's Hardpoint for that. If you want to play an SMG, there's a Hardpoint for that. If you want to play a sniper, there's a Hardpoint for that. So basically, all the Hardpoints, they're very unique in what weapon you should be playing. And honestly, as long as you're good at playing your favorite weapon, I reckon you can make it work.
Yeah, and the other point I want to add to that is, standoff is a great map to play Hardpoint on. It's a little less constrictive as Hackney Yard, from my opinion. So this, as much as we saw Mindfreak wipe the floor of IFM in the first Hardpoint, this one might give a bit more balance back in the favor of IFM. I'm not going to say they're going to, that it's a given, but maybe because of firing range, IFM did very well, winning some aim duels, getting some great picks. maybe that's going to play a bit more balance for the way IFM play in comparison to Mindfreak on an individual level when we come to this map. So, but I'm not confident. We know it's a hard point. We saw Mindfreak, really take that one out first time round. So IFM, it's all in their court right now. It's 2-1. This is map point for them, and they already lost one hard point against Mindfreak. So step up. Let's see. I want to see what IFM bring.
I think, look, I completely agree with it. Now it's time for IFM to step up. Mindfreak are the ones that typically are always in the driver's seat, and they have had a bit of, someone behind them now beginning to knock behind the back end, saying, you know what, I'm actually going to do some backseat driving, and that's an IFM. What I really like about this, though, is the fact that both these teams are warmed up. They're greased. They're ready to roll. We might see a completely different IFM to it. I know we have seen a different IFM in the past 2 rounds, so perhaps this will be a much more competitive hardpoint, and we are going to be jumping into it as well. Again, guys, this is going to be pretty crazy here. We're going to be on standoff. And now, as you can see, IFM coming into it. Currently 1, Mindfreak currently 2. Let's see if Mindfreak can close out this particular round, or will it actually go the way of IFM, and we're going to be continuing to move into that final map.
Absolutely. Great opening by Mindfreak here, straight into the hard point. They always do this so well. Very aggressive, getting points very quickly on the board, and they're just cleaning up players left, right, and center who are trying to get in. But Fiend finds an opening gap, doesn't get any movement there. Supreme cleaning him up in that great defensive position there. That's almost 20 points on the board already, and no action from IFM. Mindfreak just really playing so strong here. This is already a Predator missile going down. This is just going to show how fast Supreme has been picking up frags here. And it's just so difficult for a team like IFM when you've had a couple of great players, but you're just getting wiped out the opening gates on the final map that this could be for them. This is not looking great for IFM so far.
Absolutely, but I think one of the big advantages here is, of course, it's still early in the rounds. IFM can now look to rotate a little bit quicker than Mindfreak, who are continuing to hold this point. The next one is about to open. Will be unlocking in the next couple of seconds. IFM seem to be ready in position. They've entrenched themselves to make it hard for Mindfreak to get in, and they're the ones now holding the point here. All the little areas on the side, Mindfreak have to jump in. A nice little jump around here as well, and IFM beginning to pick off members and finally getting themselves onto the board.
Yeah, absolutely. IFM really played that well. It was a 2v4 when they retook it, and they went in, in a great coordinated take, dropping both Mindfreak players quite convincingly. And now they have this hard point. They're going to level. They potentially can level it out quite convincingly. They're looking like they've got a great hold. Natty taking on 2 in the hallway, but just unable to keep them off, getting dropped. This gives the point to Mindfreak. Not what you want to see when you're holding it so well and they're just able to pick you apart like that. But, Mindfreak, this is what they're here to do. And IFM now, it's on to them to try and clear it out. Can they win that duel? No. Supreme taking down Natty again. The Bison's just going face-to-face there. Fiend doing hard work with the Fennec. Fiend is such a great fragger, and, sending him into entry frag is going to do a lot of work for IFM. He holds that for the last few moments while Mindfreak are already on the next hard point over by the shutters there. And now it's on to IFM to head in and try and retake this.
Yeah, great rotations from Mindfreak. Really good presence of mind to realize when that hard point's going to drop and when to move to the next one. And IFM are really hard pressed to get in there as well. But a great flank coming through from Danger manages to take out 2 of the members. And now IFM are in control of the point. Mindfreak trying to make themselves back in, but they will be able to retake the point very quickly because they still had enough support directly behind.
Absolutely. And, the Annihilators are out here on chill. They're going to be able to hold this side for just a bit longer, get some... Oh, no, correct me. I am wrong. He gets caught out by Fiend, working so hard to trade that for a few moments there. But, it's not enough. Mindfreak still holding on for a significant amount of time to keep their point gap of almost over 40 points. And, IFM are just on the back foot right now. They really have to lock down these sites, get in there, pick up those frags, and don't fall back to Mindfreak, who've decided to say, you know what, IFM, you can have this hard point. We'll get the next one. Both. Now this leaves Mindfreak in a position where they might just be able to collect. Great Annihilator across the map from Dinker there. That puts IFM off the hard point because they were already rotating and they didn't pick up any of those last remaining points. No, it's sad to see.
You're just like, this is a great position. Bang, gone. Out of the
no more points in the last 5 seconds there.
pretty good there. But with that all said and done, Mindfreak still in control of the hard point here. Even more score streaks going down to maintain that control. IFM, again, hard pressed to get into this position. You can see they're trying to rotate around, actually give it a little bit. They've even got a few score streaks being thrown out their way to impede their advance. As they are beginning to jump in now, good slide in from Danger, and IFM completely overrunning the point. And they've managed to get control of it, but it's still being fought tooth and nail for Mindfreak in this scenario.
And the sentry gun.
Oh, there we go. That is going to allow them to hold this point, and they're still getting something back. I mean, 14 seconds. This is pretty decent work by IFM. They're still in it for the time being.
Yeah, and Danger just picking up 3 flags there, really locking down that hard point, doing all the work for IFM on this hard point. That was an incredible play. That all 3 players dived in, one from above, one from either doorway, and they cleaned out Mindfreak, which closed this gap. It was almost a 50-point gap. Now it's only a 30-point gap. Let's see what they can do in this next hard point. Even though Mindfreak open up with it, IFM are just in there contesting, and the frags are going back and forth. This is just all IFM need to do is just get one hard point and hold it for about 10 to 20 seconds, and they can close this gap pretty close. This is not too far away from a victory on either side just yet.
Well, once again, IFM do manage to grab it for just 1 second, but Mindfreak well and truly back onto the point now, continuing to rack up the points, and this seems to be a bit more of a convincing hard point round for them now that they've put this place in complete lockdown. IFM are looking to regroup to get themselves back in. Few frags now going out once again, but still the objective is under the control of Mindfreak. We do have a nice little jump in as well. 1-2 kills off the back, but it's still going to be shut down once again, and Mindfreak so good at just maintaining this point. And now in the last 10 seconds, we're counting down 5 points to go, and it looks like it's going to be going the way of Mindfreak.
Absolutely, and that's going to close out this map number 3 in just a moment. This last hard point is going to be almost meaningless. All Mindfreak has to do is just put their foot on the plate essentially for about a second, and it's done. IFM would have to have a 100% control rate from here on out to block out Mindfreak. Can they do it? I would lose my mind if they did.
I would too.
And it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
You can see that IFM were definitely trying. They were pulling out all the stops at the end there. I felt all they had to do was just like 1 little second off, but they didn't want to give it to them. And eventually Mindfreak were able to overpower. And I mean, looking at the score, Dinka definitely going off the charts there. Do good frags across the board for the whole of Mindfreak. And we keep on discussing this. Either there isn't really a weak spot.
Almost 230 bombs by Chill and Dinka. What an incredible play. That was where all the action was, right? You could almost say for 90% of that time it was Chill and Dinka doing the work. That's something to be mindful of as we watch Mindfreak through these finals. They will progress into the grand final position, taking seed number 1 there, and we will watch IFM drop down into the lower bracket finals, where Pride X Ivory are patiently waiting right now in the locker room, ready to be called out for play.
Well, Mal, I want to throw it to you just a second. I mean, it was expected. We thought Mindfreak were the ones who were going to be moving towards the finals. But IFM, looking pretty good there. I mean, I'd be a bit hot under the collar if I was Mindfreak. What do you reckon is just a little bit different? The fact was it just a bit of nerves at the start of it, and now they're really beginning to bring it to Mindfreak?
Yeah, well, they definitely did put up a better performance compared to what they did in the first hardpoint. And what I did realize is how good Mindfreak is at locking down the hardpoints, and the way that they can back each other up. Like, if you kill 1 Mindfreak member, good job, but you've got to kill 3 more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
That's the exciting thing about watching Mindfreak. They've always, on hardpoint, they're really showing how they can support each other and work together. And the players just intuitively know that if IFM's pushing in, and like we saw on the first hard point, vacate and support your other teammates straight away, and they regroup really quick, and they just don't give IFM enough time to do anything meaningful on the hard points.
Yeah, well, that reaction time from Mindfreak seems to be second to none, but doesn't mean that IFM is out of it just yet. They will need to compete up against Pride X Ivory in the next round. So guys, we're going to a quick short break. Please do not go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. Mendrix, how are you feeling after seeing that?
I am going well. I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth the moment everything pushed into him. Guys, if you're just joining us as well, we've had the pleasure of watching IFM go toe-to-toe with Mindfreak, but with Mindfreak being victorious, IFM now need to battle it out with Pride X Ivory to see who will face Mindfreak in the grand finals. Now, we've already been introduced to IFM, so let's actually have a quick look at the player stats for Pride X Ivory. All right, looking at that there, I mean, we've got Perfect IQ, Wadey, Cayenne, Gonzo, Havoc, and Hammy. Now, Kwan, who's your favorite player out of these two? I think Wadey was who you had a preference to before, or is there someone else a little bit different?
Oh, look, I just like Wadey because he's got a great name and he's been a good performer over the last couple of seasons. But we've been seeing a lot of big plays by Perfect IQ, and yesterday, you know, it was hard to pick a favorite out of Pride X Ivory because they're just doing so well against XF that. You know, you can really see across the board the team stepping up, and they've got a quite consistent balance between the players.
Well, good to see that, Mal. I mean, as well, you had a few words as well. I think Perfect IQ having a preference over the MK2 is something that you probably have a little bit of words for, because I think you personally have a preference to the DLQ. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely the DLQ is my favorite sniper right now for sure.
Well, look crazy in that sense. I mean, I'm going to look at these stats as well. Nothing really stands out to me particularly, perhaps maybe the fact that, again, in the Perfect IQ, he likes using the MK2 too, but his favorite weapon is still DLQ. So I really wanted him to actually use that weapon a bit more often in the maps there, which I find a little bit interesting. And what's really good about most of these players, they have been playing since Season 1. They've been here from the beginning. And if it's not Season 1, it tends to be the beta. So really good to see that across the board for all the teams that we do have in the finals. These guys have been through with this game through thick and thin the entire way through. Whether there is, you know, perhaps a bit of a season where maybe the gun choices and buffs are a little bit questionable. I mean, Mal, can you let me know, is there any particular matches or particular seasons that you kind of felt, hey, this gun's a bit nutty at the moment?
Well, it's always the COD meta has always been changing throughout basically the whole season, the whole longevity of the game. Since the beginning, it was the AK-117 and the Type 25 and the MSMC, and the MSMC is still a solid SMG nowadays. The AK-117 is kind of used every now and then, and the Type 25 is lowered down. They're not used as much.
Oh, fair enough there, but we do have, I believe, the map pool ready to roll, so let's bring that up to see what the teams have banned and gotten rid of. And as we can see there, it's going to be starting off on the Hardpoint Standoff, followed by Raid on Search and Destroy, Domination on Firing Range, Hardpoint, and then Search and Destroy is the little fun ones. And I think they've actually banned as well the Hackney Yard this time around, which means we finally get to see Crossfire. Or maybe not. I mean, we just need to go to Game 5 for us actually see Crossfire.
They've left it right up to the end.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
know what? We might actually get to Game 5. IFM performing so well. Pride X Ivory playing so well yesterday. I mean, it may go all the way down to the wire on this one.
Absolutely. And again, I think one of the big advantages for IFM coming into this, they're probably a little bit more warmed up, a bit more greased, because of course they did just go up against Mindfreak. And that's definitely a bit of I mean, if you consider the fact, hey, you know, if we're just going to disregard what happened before, that's purely a training session. That's one hell of a gravity training session to put yourself through, I must admit, because that would be very stressful, and maybe coming into it, they might be feeling a little bit more light going up against Pride X Ivory. On the flip side of it, Pride X Ivory got to watch that match. They got to see the way IFM were playing, the strategies they were putting into the play. This could be a big advantage into it. So definitely both these teams bringing a little bit of oomph for different reasons into this match.
The only thing I'm gonna be favoring here is that IFM are warmed up. They've just versed the hardest team, maybe a little bit burnt out, right? You know, you know, they put all their best on the line just then, and they might be a bit dry in the tank here, but they are also warmed up. You know, they've been playing, their fingers have been moving, they've been thinking, you know, been working together. Whereas Pride X, you know, as much as they might just be playing in the background, getting ready for this, you know, it's a different thing to real live fire, you know, competition. And so potentially Pride X comes in cold on map 1 and needs a bit of time to get into the flow of things. But if it does go for the long haul, I actually think maybe IFM will burn out just from the drain of playing that last match against, you know, Mindfreak, which was so intense.
Exactly right. That's another point to take into account. The endurance is going to be there, and it is going to be favoring Pride X Ivory in that sense. The other thing I want to take into account is some may say, hey,
IFM just lost. Their mentality might have taken a little bit of a dip because of it. But when you take into fact the caliber of their opposition, Mindfreak, they might be actually feeling a bit hot coming into this as well. So it's really hard to figure out what the mentality of IFM might be coming into this. If you were playing on this one, Mal, and you were IFM, how would you take the account of that particular performance against Mindfreak coming into this match?
Well, honestly, I would be kind of happy that the team was able to make a better performance in the second Hardpoint compared to the first one. So I guess it wouldn't be too bad for the mindset, because you are versing as not as good team. While Pride is still a good team, IFM and MF is just on another level.
Oh, exactly. MF is on another level. On the flip side of things, I want to go back to you, Quan. I mean, you did talk about how you did favor IFM a little bit coming into this purely because they're warm, they're ready to roll. But Pride X Ivory, that advantage of being able to see their opponents play beforehand, work out what their strategies might be, is that something that will be an advantage coming into it, or perhaps that mechanics factor is just too much for Pride X Ivory to overcome?
Oh, it's always great to sit on the sideline and watch another team, play before you have to verse them, because you can figure out. I mean, like if I was taking notes on Pridex, we know they're starting to implement a lot more strategies just before they hop into this map. They'd be keeping their eye out on Fiend, who's playing really well, doing a lot of picks, entry frags, and just thinking, okay, we're going to be expecting this guy to be roaming for those picks, so let's lock him down or be aware of it. So there's just notes that you could be taking into this matchup where it may not actually help you, but you're aware of what's coming, and you have a bit of a recon advantage, I like to call it.
Well, you know what? I think speaking of recon, I think recon's come through for me as well. I've heard the players are set and are ready to go and be able to jump straight into this match. Again, this will be the decider who does take the final spot in the grand finals up against Mindfreak. It's IFM up against Pride X Ivory. One of these teams will be going home at the end of this round. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see as it plays out. And it is, of course, going to be that first map being Hardpoint. Let's see how hard these guys rush, or they're going to take it a little bit slower. Let's see, and we're jumping straight into it. Does seem to be both of these teams spreading out.
Oh, great.
A straight rush to it. Good shots off the back already.
The fighter just set up in such a great position there, and all three players coming down the line. He could have got a bit more there, but that was just a really well thought out position to take by the fighter. Kane just coming in with a couple of great entry frags there, but this site is sitting in favor of IFM as Pride X has taken it off them. The score points are leveling up. We're not going to see too much of which team's taking it. He's going to take this map out until we really get past maybe 2 minutes into this matchup, but it is showing a really close matchup right now, and this is the kind of thing we want to see, where Pride X have brought everything that they should have brought to the finals.
Yeah, and what I really like about this, even though IFM started strong, Pride X Ivory are not going down without a fight and well and truly back in control at this point. But IFM, again, beginning to throw everything they have to maintain the last 10 seconds of this, and they will be able to take control. But Pride X Ivory goes, you know what? It's 10 seconds. You can take the slivers. We're moving over to that next hard point and getting into position. And IFM are closing in before, and that's a really good spot for Natty. They continue to get flakes after another. We'll be able to take another. No! He won't be able. He got the first few shots off that Havoc. We'll be able to finish him off.
Yeah, and perfect IQ, he has been consistently a great fragger, and that's something we've got to keep watching out as we watch these matchups. What is perfect IQ going to deliver for the team? I would almost favor to say perfect IQ and Fiend are going to be the two players that are going to make a big difference for either team in this matchup.
Well, you can see there, Perfect IQ actually holding that window, stopping most of the members from jumping in from the trash can. But unfortunately for him, will finally be taken down. IFM now onto this point. 30 seconds left on it, which means they need to get control. But Pride X Ivory still fighting strong, and they managed to regain control.
Now let's not forget, right? Anytime Danger's, wherever Danger's pointing his crosshair, that's the danger zone, right? And he's actually putting a lot of work in here, getting those entry frags, picking up a double there quite quickly. And Danger might be the outperformer here for IFM. And between Danger and Fiend, you've got two dangerous players. But I am seeing that on Pride X Ivory, Kane and Pixent are picking up a lot of the frags, and that's what's working in favor of Pride X right now, who've managed to get almost double lead over IFM as we break past the halfway point as we start to get into this match.
Yeah, they really are starting this map off with a bang. 62 points now as well. Annihilator in hand and beginning to rake up more frags here as well. Score streaks are starting to be coming down. Operator skills are coming into play as well. And it seems Prydex Ivory executing better as well. Look at Kyan. Managed to get multiple members. That was a 4-person kill streak before he was taken down.
Absolutely. That's the danger of an Annihilator, right? And he just gave so much more time to Prydex Ivory that they needed to get more points on the board as they get a triple lead over IFM. And this is really exciting, right? Because we know IFM struggled in the hardpoint against Mindfreak, but Prydex, are just showing that they are really making IFM work for it. And that's what I want to see in this finals, where the teams are really showing where their strengths are. And it potentially is quite an even level playing field across the teams for this finals. And Prydex are just so convincing right now. It's almost a repeat for IFM against Mindfreak, and this might set the tone for the rest of the maps.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at this here. The other hardpoint now is locked up. All the teams are trying to get into it. IFM, though, might have a late surge here. They did manage to hold the previous point for at least 15 seconds before giving it over to Prydex Ivory when it was just the slivers. This time around, it seems it's their turn to start using the Annihilators. Mad Max holding that line down as well at the same time. Fighter just so good with these shots. Is getting 3.
Here comes a Goliath, right? So we've got a Goliath on Prydex Ivory. And this is, when you see a Goliath who get played down, this is a really finishing play. They're trying to say, we're going to use our big weapons and and basically put some armor on the field. And the sentry gun in response is not enough. A Goliath is going to chew that up. Although it does go down to the Annihilators, just showing how strong as a meta Annihilators are performing right now. Havoc, though, responding with 3 quick Annihilator frags there. And this site is just not going in the way that IFM wanted as Prydex wrestle it from IFM.
Yeah, IFM were definitely there first, but Prydex Ivory had the arsenal to take everything down. Now it's going to be up to them back to using the basic weapons to get back into it. As you can see here, Prydex Ivory well and truly in control at this point, but it's only got 3 seconds left on it. And now IFM are the first ones to do the rotations across, but Prydex Ivory are chipping at their heels.
Yeah, they're definitely chipping at their heels. This is again almost this is a 2.5 lead over IFM. So they're maintaining the ability to keep a good lead. This is probably the deciding hard point for IFM. If they can't get a convincing hold over Prydex, they're in a lot of trouble for this map. And Prydex is saying that we want this hard point right now with those frags going down quite quick and thick for Prydex. Although IFM trying out, using predators, using hunter killer drones, they're trying to just lock it down and get everyone off site so they can have it. But unfortunately, it is not enough. Prydex is still here, still contesting.
Yeah, but IFM are back onto the point now. They're maintaining control for the time being. So Prydex Ivory trying to get in. It seems to have stemmed this advance from Prydex. They're now beginning to rack up points as well. Still plenty of time on that point. As I'm saying that, Prydex Ivory do start to pull out their operator skills once again. Now beginning to jump in and look at the amount of shots here coming across.
Yeah,
it is a massacre for Prydex Ivory.
Impressive play.
Oh, just insane how Prydex can just completely flip the switch and turn it online once they do manage to get their resources on board. And now we are waiting for the next point to unlock. It looks like Prydex Ivory have this on lockdown. And IFM,
this is going to be the finisher. This is just such a strong hold, and it is done and over. First map goes to Prydex Ivory. Congratulations. IFM struggling on these hard points. This is just not going well for them when it comes to a hard point. Maybe this is their weakness. When you want to verse IFM, load up the hard points.
But this is the other thing to take into account. The way the format of the competition operates is we're always going to start with a hard point. And even if you do manage to take a few rounds in the search and destroying the domination, it's most likely going to come back to a hard point. And this is the kryptonite for IFM. They've been basically down and out throughout the majority of this competition. So this is something, again, all the teams play on this. This is the format that's happening the entire way through. They really do need to up their game on these hard points because it's arguably the most important map to actually have figured out and under your control.
Absolutely, especially when there's going to be 2 hard points in the best of 5, right? So it is a high danger, high risk, mode not to be good at. And hopefully, maybe IFM are just not finding their gel on this, or maybe the other teams are focusing all their energy and being really good at it because it is the opening map. And if you get good momentum off winning the first one and you can take that into the second, that gives you 2 up the board, and that's well on down the track to winning out the matchup.
Well, we have seen in the past that IFM's strengths have been the search and destroy, and it is two of those as well. It just means that they do need to be competitive in both the search and destroy and the domination, and we know they can definitely perform there before. I mean, the way they took out Mindfreak so convincingly, it was a real good show. Now, I reckon it's probably going to be the same case here, or do you reckon Pride X Ivory will be able to give IFM a run for money on the next map mode?
Well, I am amazed at how well Pride just performed in that Hardpoint game. Like, that just blew me away. And search and destroy, it's going to be interesting. Personally, I still feel like IFM is going to be able to take out this win with their mind games. However, Pride might be able to put up a solid fight.
I think the advantage Pride's going to have on search and destroy right now is they watched what IFM did to Mindfreak. So they're going to be prepared, right? They know that there's going to be these heavy rushes. There's going to be a focus on getting a quick pick. So, if I was in Pride X seat, I would be looking for these aggressive plays and then trying to shut it down round one. And if they try again in round two, shut it down again. And then IFM is going to be like a blunted spear.
Exactly. Well, it is going to be Raid as well as the next map's coming up. And of course, that's going to be Search and Destroy. Is there any particular points that we need to talk about here, Mal, for Raid as a Search and Destroy map mode?
Well, Raid is a very great map for snipers, especially watching Laundry and the Sniper's Nest that watches over pool. And there's also one on the attacking side up in the bedroom. So we might be seeing a sniper's warfare between a few of the IFM and Pride members.
And we definitely know that perfect IQ can really perform when a sniper is in hand. So really looking at this particular player on Pride X Ivory to perform for their team. On the flip side of things, Mad Max, Danger, Fiend, they've been great fraggers here, but I'm trying to figure out who's someone that is that sniper specialist, and I can't really pinpoint it down. But we will get to see this play out now because we are jumping straight into this map and players are beginning to make their rush. Pride X Ivory happy to sit back and go in for a late invade. IFM, though, are well and truly putting themselves onto the map, and they have lost a member for their trouble.
Yeah, Pride X getting an early pick. This is interesting. IFM are actually employing a more spread out, slower play because they've started on defender. This might be what changes up the momentum for them in this search and destroy. Whilst Pride X are working hard to just find another pick, they're working together. They're rolling out as a squad into each attack zone. Although the response from IFM is to trade down one, which gets traded back really quickly, 1-for-1. So it is the 3v4 situation. Now we're starting to see Pride X starting to fall down onto a site saying, well, we're up 4. One site may only have one player on it. We can actually drop that site quite quick. This is not a great position to be when you're on defense with only 3.
The big thing here is, of course, Pride X still need to run into IFM, and now the members are starting to fall down, but it's still going to be a trade out in the end as well. Pride X still up that one member. They've got control of the bomb still, so that means they won't have to worry about losing that time through. And it seems they have locked down onto site A, and the rotations from IFM are coming in. They do have a bit of a pincer coming across, but they still need to be careful before they do engage into this Pride X team, which have well and truly got control of this site A.
Yep. Danger falls there. This is dangerous. This is a 1v3 situation for IFM on the first map point of this search and destroy. I'm not feeling confident here if I was in this position myself. So this is a lot of work to be doing when you've got a Holger, 3 players up, the bomb is down. They know exactly where you are. You're completely surrounded and you are under pressure going down to Kane's Fennec.
Well, that wasn't going to be a clutch out now for Pride X Ivory. It wasn't going to be a clutch out for IFM in that scenario, but Pride X Ivory do walk away with this first round. Great starts across the board for Pride X Ivory now in this match. I mean, one up again in the Search and Destroy as well. And things looking very different. I mean, we were feeling so excited for IFM coming into this losers bracket with the performance that they did against Mindfreak. But Pride X Ivory, again, showing us something that's a little bit different, a little bit more control, a little bit more strategy, and really elevating their playstyle to actually take it to IFM.
This flanking maneuver here by IFM may pay dividends, but there's all 5 Pride X Ivory players here ready to trade back. So there's a lot of danger here. And if Pride X try to make a move on a site, this flanking position opens up a lot of weakness. He's just running past them. He gets one. Can he get a second? They all know he's here. And there goes the trade. 1-for-1. It's 4 against 4. But that was a high risk maneuver. And we saw IFM employ those against Mindfreak to create momentum. And potentially they could have done the same thing here, but it was well shut down as B site goes to our friends at Pride X Ivory getting that planting.
It does work out here as well for Pride X Ivory in the end. I mean, there was a lot of information gained there by Danger. He realized how many members Pride X Ivory had, and IFM were mobilizing in position to get into that B side, but it was a little too late. The bomb has been planted. Now IFM needs to make their way in, and they have lost Natty. So things are looking even dire now for this Pride X Ivory team to get in and make something happen. Sorry, no, for IFM to get in and make something happen, but they are beginning to fight back. They're finding kills left, right, and center. And you can see now it's going to be Pride X Ivory down to one member now. And it's really going to be all on Pixent to make this work. He will get a hit marker, but he won't find a kill.
And IFM have started to defuse now, so this is just an unfortunate situation to be in. And the rocket launcher, he gets dropped by a rocket. That's unfortunate.
You know, sometimes instead of using a fly swatter to get rid of a fly, you just need to use the rocket launcher. I think that's one way.
Sitting in a nest, right? Blow up the nest.
Exactly, right? It's just like that ends up being the most effective way to do it. It's like I can't hit the sniper, but I can sure as hell hit the bell tower. So that ends up being the scenario here in the end, and we are going to see it be a fight back from IFM now, 1-1 up, already making our move into this next map, and this is very quick from Pride X Ivory to get straight onto the
play by IFM. They stacked B, maybe predicting that there might have been a heavy push like last round from Pride X, but Pride X just did a heavy push on A and took it just in minutes. But here we're going to see a full rotate from IFM onto Pride X Ivory. Can Pride X Ivory find the positions they need to lock this down? The Angels are going to start falling in, and they are going in the favor of no one. It's a 1-to-1 trade-off, and now it's a 3v4. Great pick by the fighter. Here they come in. It's a 2v3. What's it? There, all of Pride X go down to IFM, who did a great execute on that rotate back in. And that's the danger of holding a site, even as an attacker. Once you're in a full defense position, it's really about quick picks. And once the other team starts falling on you, you got nowhere to go. You're surrounded.
Fortune favors the bold there, and even though Pride X Ivory were entrenched, IFM executed perfectly, and now we're getting to see the team that performs so well in these Search and Destroys. That idea of, yes, these guys can bring it to it. And I mean, the thing here that's really great is Pride X Ivory do sometimes find those early kills, but IFM are so quick in response to get those trade outs and then make something work in return. Yeah. So it's going to be definitely rough for Pride X Ivory to get through here, and as you can see, again, a much more of a slower round coming into it. Seems that A is going to be the target here for Pride X. But
absolutely,
IFM,
we have IFM doing a lot of recon, just spreading out from B, just trying to find products. They know they're at A now, but they're just looking for any lurkers to just clear them out. Danger's done a lot of effort on the recon, and here he is just setting up for the entry frag now to open up some opportunities on that rotate for IFM. He gets the first frag down. That does give some opportunities for IFM to break in. Can they take down another player? It is a 3v4 situation now, a 1v4 situation now. Danger doing a lot of work there. It's all onto Pride X Ivory, and it's just not enough as the 4 IFM players finish them off to take the site.
Welcome to the danger zone coming on through here. IFM just showing us what they can do, and a lot of work being pulled off there by Danger. Managed to get those 2 quick frags that gave the confidence to the rest of the team to make that rush in directly afterwards. And now Pride X Ivory probably are feeling the pressure. They're probably going, wow, we're buckling here now. We had such a great start in that hard point, such a great start in the Search and Destroy, but things have really turned around. And this is what we wanted to see, a big competition between this. I hope it goes to 5 maps.
All right, so here's the mix-up that we're looking for. Pride X are actually saying, well, if you're scouting out from B, we're going to go face-to-face with you and take you head-on. Let's see who wins the fight here. It is 3-4, so it's looking good. Danger's gone down to Gonza. This is not a great situation for IFM, who are leaning on Danger to do a lot of the damage. It's 2v4 now. IFM got face-checked by Pride X Ivory, and that was a great counter strategy that we wanted to see played out. They still plan at A, feeling safe and confident, but it is 2v4. So this is going to be a very difficult retake for IFM, who just don't have the manpower to do what they did the last 2 rounds. It's going to have to be a really strong aim draw victory here, and we're just whiffing shots, watching them not hit the spot. It's now into a 1v4 situation. Can the fighter do the work with his MK2? He has to land headshots. This is going to be really difficult. They're all going to start falling on him to just finish it out, and they do. It is done. Havoc getting that last kill, putting 2 points on the board for Pride X Ivory. as they
Pride
switch
X whipping or swapping things up a little bit, throwing IFM off balance, and is exactly what they needed to do to change this momentum, because we have seen IFM run away with search and destroys once they get rolling. So this is definitely what Pride X needed to get themselves back into this map. And of course, they do want to take this win. They're the ones looking to at least get into Mindfreak, actually be able to get a chance at that $3,000 prize pool. And look at these quick returns here from IFM saying, you know what, you want to swap things up? We can swap things up too as well. Now that we're on attack, beginning to make their moves across, and Pride X probably just suffering a little bit here because those quick moves from IF have managed to put them down 3 members of grenade as well.
Dirty. What a great nade by Natty. You rarely see a frag grenade like that to get a successful pickup, and that was just so painful. It's a 1v5 situation now. Havoc having to put all the work in, and it's just not enough as the fighter finds his crosshair on the face.
Flawless victory there coming across in that round for IFM, losing no members, losing barely any HP. And I think Pride X Ivory now need to get back in that same position, maybe look for that swap up once again. IFM, they're looking to do a little bit of a change around. We do have the fighter going for the flanks while the rest of the team is doing a push towards that A side. And let's see how this does play out. He's got the sniper in hand, but might not be able to make anything happen just yet. Look and see what Havoc can do holding down this position.
Pride X have opted for a really early rotate, which is a great play when you're feeling, on the back foot. Puts a lot of support on the site, but it does mean that A can be opened up. The first 2 frags go down in favor of Pride X Ivory in a 3v5 situation, which was directly in favor of Pride X with the bomb as well on B side. They've locked it down into a 2v5 now. This puts the fighter on the flank. Can he open up any frags? He's missing these shots that are so important. The Pixon does have an SMG. He's going to face check him. He goes to the shotgun and counters him very quickly with that sawn off. Well done, the fighter. It is now a 2v4 situation as we watch this pincer from these 2 players on IFM try to just finish off the Pride X side, and it is a 1v3 situation. It's all up to Mad Max now, who's going to have to work real hard here to get that bomb and finish the last 3 players of Pride X off.
Yeah, and look at him. He's trying to walk around. He's looking for the angles now as well. There's too much manpower on Pride X for him to take this head-to-head. So he does need to be a bit sneaky. The time is starting to draw out. 40 seconds is still enough to do something with, but he needs to get into a position now and find some of those frags. You can see he's taking some shots there. He's revealed his position. And as you can see, Pride X beginning to move around as well. And I don't think that he's going to find a way in the way that Pride X is just holding both of these vantage points, covering each other's backs at each point. He's now moving around the Lamborghini at this point. See if we can get it around on this side here, but it's not going to be enough. Cayenne will find the shot the moment he looked into position, and it was just too many members. But now we can see here it's going to be Pride X Ivory beginning to fight back, bringing this to a 4-3.
And B is a difficult site to do a solo clutch on, when the bomb's down out in the open as well, because there's just not much cover, and your approaches are all quite exposed to to a good setup like Pride X had.
We can see a little bit of a change once again from IFM, who've well and truly taken control of this middle point. Pride X Ivory looking to span out between both the A and B sides towards their side of the map. Now, as you can see here,
goes down to Mad Max. And we're going to see IFM just fall in on Pride X Ivory's team. They're dropping another one and leaving it to a 3v5 as they take A. This is not good for Pride X Ivory, who are left with a difficult rotate decision to make here, and they're waiting. It's probably coming in too slow, unfortunately, waiting for their players to get around, and they lose another into a 2v5. And this is just getting worse and worse for Pride X as the bomb's planted, the countdown's on the board, their players just trying to find a position. I don't know if they're going to be able to break into this position that IFM find themselves now so embedded into A.
I mean, looking at the map, there seems to be a flying V point there for IFM that's been built up, as they've got this point there completely locked down. Now it seems that it is going to be Pixon being found as well, but Havoc will be able to get Mad Max. It's all down to Havoc, but he isn't going to have enough, and that's going to be match point now for IFM. And this is something that we expected. Didn't look like it was going to be at the start of it, but IFM, now that they found their groove, are really beginning to kick into high gear. Now, is there anything that you found that's a little bit off in terms of the way that IFM's been moving? It's really been giving them the advantage in this match.
Well, you definitely do see that they are getting those initial picks, bringing it down to those 5v4, 5v3, 5v2 situations. They've had a lot of rounds where it's like a 5 versus 2, which is looking very good for them.
Well, very up to another quick start here again. IFM now the one losing the members, so Project Ivory going to be up with that advantage, especially with the fact they're defending, and the bomb's been dropped on the map as well, which means they need to put themselves in a bit of an exposed position to pick it up. They do manage to pick up the bomb, but they're continuing to hemorrhage members. But IFM now fighting back will be able to drop at least one back, but of course that means there is a trade out, and now it's going to be a 2 versus 4 scenario.
Yeah, this is a really difficult position for IFM now. They've really found themselves on the back foot here. When they've tried to take a site, they've been blunted, pushed back. Now they need to rethink, but the rotates already come in from Pride X, so we're starting to close out those opportunities for them to rotate. And they're going to have to face check some tough angles here to try and open them up and win a duel. And they don't. It's now a 1v4 situation. And here we go. There's a trade back from Fiend, but we're just going to find that he's in a tough situation to try and get into A as the rotates are behind him, in front of him. He's under pressure. He doesn't know where to go. He might have to backtrack all the way around and reset an entire position to confuse Pridex, which he's not opting for. He's just saying, fight me in mid. I'll take you down if you want to check me. Otherwise, I'm planting at B. And that is just such a ballsy move by Fiend, the monster that we've seen on the previous matches. And he goes down, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, we have said before that fortune favors the ball, but not in this case. I really like the idea behind it. The idea of saying, you know what, come and fight me. He did move it out into the open, though, with no cover, and Project Ivory were able to shoot him right on down. Pretty good fight back from Pride X Ivory here. They still are under pressure. The fact that it is match point at this currently. Let's see how this does play out. Pride X Ivory do seem to have both their points covered. Majority of their eggs are situated on that B site. IFM beginning to make the way in as well. And there is going to be a bit of damage being chipped onto Fiend here now. He's going to be recovering that back, but of course, this
is a dangerous situation. Fiend has found his way all the way into the back lines of Pride X. So he's going to be able to find some good position to pick him apart. Although Kane does do the exact same thing and drop the bomb holder on IFM. So both teams have a roamer who's breaking into the back lines of the other side to just pick up some quick frags, making it a mess for either side. And Kane gets a second one. He's really messing. He gets a third. That was Havoc. Sorry. They're really messing up IFM's strategy for this map, for this round. And unfortunately, Fiend's just not having enough response when he was roaming, only getting one in a trade back. It's a 2v4 situation. Well played by Pride X, sending Kane out there to do some heavy work.
Really beginning to bring it back. Pride X Ivory have sort of identified what IFM was doing to take the wins, and they've managed to implement their counter strategy. Now that they're managing to bring this back up to that 5 scenario, I mean 2 on 3, but here we go. Fiend's fighting back, manages to get 1 kill, but he will be traded out in the end there. As you can see, there is still a bit of HP taken down, a 1v3 scenario here, and things are looking pretty rough for IFM to close this one out. Looks like we're going to be going down to the line.
Let's see if Gonza can go large and clean out the match, or otherwise, as you said, it's down the line on the next round being the map point. He does manage to get the bomb down. Come on, Gonza, this is your time to shine. Put the plant down, take down 3 Pride X Ivory players. All the glory is on the table for you in this massive clutch potential play. We do have a bit of a flank from Pride X coming in, but unfortunate. No action there, and he goes down.
Yeah, being attacked on multiple fronts. There wasn't really a chance for him to get into it as well. And Pride X Ivory managed to even it up. We're down to the line, down to the wire here between IFM and Pride X Ivory as we are swapping sides once again. And this is going to be the decider in this overtime.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a great search and destroy map. We've gone down to the tiebreaker, essentially. Either side can take this. Both sides playing really well and showing that they have counter strats that they can put into play to counter whatever the other team is doing. And IFM have opted for a full rush, face checking every corner and taking down Pride X taking down the fighter who is just left on his own. But the rotates are coming in, the trades coming in, two down on Pride X side. And there was almost a breakout there from Natty, but unfortunately Kane shut that down and said, no thanks. It's a 3v3 situation as Pixie picks up Danger. This is going in the favor of Pride X right now. Danger was one of their top fraggers. It's now down to Mad Max gets a trade on Pixie. It's a 1v1 situation. It's anybody's game now. Mad Max does see Kane out in the open. Can he get him? He does it. All the bullets just spray into the sky. Kane's just having a little bath over there in the pool, thanking the heavens for that. And he's just ducking around, just avoiding Mad Max at every cost, trying to time him out.
What
is happening here? Can they find each other? And he does. Mad Max puts Kane out, and they take out the last round, 6-5. Unfortunate for Pride X. That was an exciting finish to what a great great match that was.
That was like okay, the entire match. Everything seemed to be classy, seemed to be matched, calculated, precision. Everything that was down in that scenario, these players had a strategy to implementing. Towards the very end, there, they were like, you know what? All in. It was like they just pushed all their chips onto the table. Weren't even looking at the initial like flop as well beforehand. They just said, we're just all in right now. Let's see what you guys got. And that was an absolute chaos towards the end. And in the end, it does work out for IFM. They do manage to pick this up.
Absolutely. That was such a great finish, right? You wanted that high energy burst of just let's go for it because it was 5-5, right? Any team could have taken it. I mean, maybe they should have slowed it down, but I think the results showed that for IFM, that was the right strategy to play, in response to Pride X's face-checking rush straight in there, and it worked out. So, well done to both teams. Now, tell me, we're seeing some really good play from Pride X. We know IFM were doing okay against Mindfreak. What are we seeing here from Pride X?
To be honest, that game just then is probably one of my favorite games this whole season. That was so intense, especially that 1v1 at the end for the win. It was always just so close. It was just one shot, but he could never capitalize on the kill. And honestly, I have to give it to Pride. They've just blown me away with what they're capable of. IFM have always been up the top, and to see another team contest as well as Pride has, it's just great to see.
I have to say, Kane really put on his dancing shoes at the back then and his bathers, jumping in and out of the pool and dodging all those bullets. It was just great to see. But, I think I want to see how Pride X do on Domination against IFM. Sneaking suspicion Pride X might have this one. They did very well on Hardpoint, and they were holding their ground in that search and destroy. The best thing I was seeing from Pride X, and I want to meet the coach or whoever has helped them get to this point in time. They were picking, like, if IFM did something well for a couple of rounds in a row, Pride X would quickly figure that out and counter it. And then we'd be able to wrestle that round back. If this was an MR13 and not an MR6, maybe Pride X would have taken that out in the long run as they burnt down IFM, because that was just impressive, thinking and tactical play to counteract what the other team's putting down and when we know IFM has so much experience, Pride X has really brought something to the table that's special. And I think when we go into Domination, when we're playing for 3 zones, as much as we saw Mindfreak and IFM just trading A and C, I have a feeling we're going to see something interesting like that here, and Pride X might surprise us.
Versatility, adaptability, very, very attractive traits in a team that we're looking to see take out this competition. And that's something that would be really effective against Mindfreak, who, again, they've been top dogs for so long. When they're dealing with a team that's got the ability to identify what your strong points are, and again, we've called them a werewolf with no silver bullet, maybe they can engineer the silver bullet to deal with Mindfreak. So really excited to see Pride X Ivory make these plays happen. Yes, they missed out on that map, but IFM, we know they're strong in search and destroy. So that was a really good performance across the board. Now, like you said, we are moving into that Domination. It's going to be firing range, and this is one of the maps that have been on the field probably the longest, one of the oldest maps across a number of the games. Most of the players have this figured out. Mao, you said before, everyone knows every cooking cranny of this map.
Yep, pretty much. This map is probably the most popular map, not just inside of competitive the competitive scene of Call of Duty. Also, when you're playing ranked, you'll see a lot of people really love to play firing range. One of the fan favorite maps of this game.
Yeah, it's one of my fan favorites for myself. That and Crossfire. The thing I love about firing range is it almost has everything you want to see in a map too. So there's a zone that's really close, heavy constricted action, and then there's zones where it's great for snipers, and there's zones which are really offer a lot of flanking positions. So, and there's elevation as well, really good elevation.
If you want it, this map has it. Firing range has gone underway. It's going to be a domination round between Pride X Ivory and IFM. Currently 1-1 up. The opening frags are going down. They've both taken their A and C respective sites, and now they're battling over B. There's no trades here from these teams like there was between Mindfreak and IFM. These guys are battling over that center.
IFM have made a play for C, but it got shut down pretty quick. Sorry, Pride X made a play for C, and IFM shut that down pretty quick. Now it's all about contending for B, and this is just going to be a really like I've referred to this as a tug of war in the past. You can see both teams just jockeying for position. They're actually starting to form lines, which is very interesting on a domination map, where usually you start to see a lot more intermingling of the two teams as they're fighting for each other's zones. But that's just goes to show how even these two teams are in their approach here. There is a bit of a flank coming around. Will it get shut down? IFM have players on the back line of PrideX. PrideX about to lose A unless they can turn around and shut that down. They managed to, yes, they're sending them home. So B does go down to PrideX in that action, though, giving them 2 points up on the board.
Well, now it's going to be up to AFM to chase the heels of PrideX Ivory. Good control across the board. They seem to be getting B back in this scenario, and they do manage to cap that point. So now those points beginning to bridge the gap between the two of them. As you can see, 24-21 at this moment in time. Frags going out left, right, and center. And if IFM can hold this position for a while, they should be putting themselves in a good, comfortable spot leading into the second round. PrideX Ivory, though, continue to fight back, and I really do like where IFM's position on the map. You can see a number of players spread out, still active along the areas here, whereas PrideX Ivory are beginning to regroup and position around, and that does mean they're going to be able to push a little bit further with this lead, as PrideX Ivory are still formulating their next point of attack.
Very interestingly, there's not a lot of frags going down, so really the points that are growing on the board is just timer. So it's not been a huge lead for IFM, even though they've had B and C. I wonder if this is PrideX saying, let's just slow it down a little bit. Let's not engage until we have something meaningful to do and not give them frags. Although A is starting to tick up, but both B and C going very quickly to PrideX, and that does convert A and C to either side, but B almost was going to PrideX. So they did try to big execute there, and it just didn't work out. Unfortunately, so they're going to have to try something else. But that was exciting to see. They slowed it down, didn't give any ground, so the points couldn't build for IFM, and then they tried to take 2 sites in one hit. That's exciting play by PrideX. Really smart. I don't know if that's the right thing to be doing or not. They're the ones competing, but I love to see action like that.
A bit of a divide and conquer, an attack on all fronts. They're being struck out in the end. Didn't work out, but you can see they are looking to try and get control of B for the time being, but IFM still fighting to hold them back, unable to allow them to cap that point, and now removing that progress. Annihilator out in hand, gets 1, gets 2 kills as well. Seems to be on a bit of a gets 3 directly afterwards. These are great use of the Annihilator, and this is really allowing great control for PrideX Ivory.
Absolutely. Now, it's only a 20-point difference right now, so PrideX can actually step up the frag fest here and really put a lot of points on the board. They can risk it for the biscuit, as you say. If they can just start engaging more now, those points are going to, that gap's going to close really fast, and you're starting to watch that happen as PrideX goes out for hunting for the kills. And they are going for A. Will they get a terminal domination, or will they not? No, it doesn't. And they do hold B off from IFM's counter push. So this is looking really well played by PrideX, who go into the second half not too far behind IFM.
Well, you look at this, this is how the cookie crumbles. Both teams risking it for the biscuit. I'd love to use puns. And we are moving now into the second half of this domination round on firing range. It looks like IFM's up 75-62. Frags are going out, smokes are going out, all the grenades in place as well. And it looks like it is going to be PrideX Ivory right in the center of this map to open this up.
Absolutely. And you can see, just looking at that quick scoreboard, the PrideX have one player who's opted not to be working any of the capture sites, but actually working frags. So this is an interesting strategy that, that PrideX have in play. IFM does pick up AB while C goes to PrideX. They're on the back foot again, but I do think PrideX might be able to turn this around. We're seeing them try things that are interesting. And again, they're not engaging heavy right now. They're just trying to work out their positions. They're just setting themselves up so they can go for the sites. They do work up opening B, but Mad Max has a response with 2 Fennec kills. There is Natty with the Annihilator out, but he's not finding anybody because PrideX aren't putting themselves out of positions. He gets 1, but that's not a huge pickup with that Annihilator.
Now, IFM continuing to push further and further ahead with this lead as well. And this is the IFM we wanted to see coming up against PrideX Ivory, beginning to turn things around, looking so strong on this domination, whereas as a Hardpoint, they were definitely defeated pretty convincingly. Now it's a completely different team once again. I feel like this is a team that grows into the series. Once they get rolling, they're pretty hard to stop. They're even putting some progression onto C as we speak right now. Yes, B is under attack, but it's still under the control of IFM.
Oh my god.
A big whiff on
He
the
can
side.
dance. Look at that guy dance.
Look at it all across here. Look, you've got a look for a nice little shot there, but it still is going to fall down in the end, and it's still going to be IFM in control of this map.
Absolutely. IFM actually just showing that they can lock these points down, but PrideX, they've got the skills. They definitely have the skills, and they're really impressing all the ladies at home with their dancing moves.
Well, they're continuing to dance at this point. They can do the tango, but can they break dance? We'll find out soon enough. Pydex Ivory trying to get themselves back in control. That's total domination now for IFM. They've got 3 points in this. They're looking to close out this third map on this domination firing range. Lots happening here. Pydex Ivory need to make a quick move now, and they're still being stopped. They're not able to get into it. IFM are running away with the show.
Yeah, look, both a Predator and a Hunter Killer just getting those extra frags on C, stopping Pydex Ivory, ending that total domination. And again, another Hunter Killer drone. That's just constant doubles on C. They're locking Pydex Ivory off, taking back C, which means they're going to be able to close this out with those 3 points up on the board. The points are going to tick up way too fast. This is the hottest zone you want to be in, and it's never going to work out in your favor as they are sitting at 1 point to go, and it's done. IFM cleaned that out in a convincing finish towards the end there.
That was really well done by IFM. Mal, I really want to pick your brain on this one. It did look like IFM had a very standard point of control. They managed to hold those 2 points there. Pydex Ivory were implementing interesting strategies to try and get 2 points at once, or perhaps really throw IFM off kilter. Was this something that maybe they should just go back to basics on, or perhaps, in the right sense, those interesting strategies could possibly work?
Well, I see what IFM is very good at is countering the enemy's playstyle, and first of all recognizing what their playstyle is, predicting where they're going to be and what the attacks are going to look like. As you saw in the first round, Pydex Ivory were able to take the win by quite a margin. Maybe that was just IFM adjusting to their playstyle.
And this is true. I mean, we talked about it before. Pydex Ivory have the ability to have that versatility and adaptability. And we said it was attractive traits before. I personally said that. But we didn't consider that IFM can also play the same game. And they managed to adjust to that playstyle pretty convincingly, especially with them growing into that particular map, making it a total domination for the last 30 seconds. And to be honest, since the finals, we haven't seen a total domination last that long.
Yeah, that was a really, really good move by IFM in that second half. Pydex were in that match right up until the end. And I actually think IFM, with their experience at play, are starting to feel the rhythm and get comfortable with how they're versing Pydex. I do imagine there's a bit of a shock factor going on right now. And maybe in this next hard point, we see either. It's still either way, but we see IFM close it out because they've just worked out how Pydex are playing.
Absolutely. Again, we were talking about that idea of, Hardpoint seems to be the kryptonite for IFM. Let's see if perhaps themselves with a little bit of repellent against it, and that means they'll be able to take out Pydex Ivory convincingly and push forward through. Mal, do you reckon IFM now are just hot? There's just too much to stop them now, or will Pydex be able to bring this back in the Hardpoint?
Yeah, well, it is another Hardpoint, which is Pridex's prime and IFM's weakness. So it could be a very close game. However, IFM, they might have adjusted to the Pride playstyle.
Well, that being said, we are going to be jumping straight into it. You guys like to see the action and know that you don't like to have breaks, so we'll bring it back to you as soon as we can. The players are ready to roll. And as you can see, that countdown is into place. It is going to be now Hardpoint coming right at you. IFM currently up 2-1 against Pydex Ivory. If they take this map, they will be able to push forward into the grand finals. Whereas Pydex Ivory will be knocked out of competition. Will Pydex hold on, or IFM finish the show?
Yep, and Pydex had the first hard point with some convincing opening frags there. They're putting the points on the board. They're getting the frags to help that grow. And this is just such an incredible aggressive play by Pydex to open up the match. And I just wonder if IFM can respond to Pydex in hard point. And really, it's going to come down to the fifth map at this point. But yes, Pydex have just come out of the gates roaring.
They're swinging every single haymaker, and it's connecting left, right, and center. IFM are trying to fight back, and they finally do manage to get a counter punch in. Now they're holding down this point, but Pydex Ivory so quickly just back in straight to the guts once again and managed to retake control of this point. And wow, this is one hell of a show from Pydex, who have come back screaming.
And this is the action that I want to see in the community challenge, right? This is just such a great showing of skill, of growth from Pydex Ivory. And, just these matchups are just displaying all the potential that COD-M offers. So if you're sitting at home wondering, should you be playing, should you be competing? I mean, this is exciting. I want to pick up my phone and jump in and just start playing like this as well. And I am just so here for it. Pydex are just showing everybody what they can do. And that even though those last two maps may not have gone their way, they are such an incredible force with these these frags coming out. And look at that. Danger just stepping up over the balcony to get a frag, but getting, taking a lot of punishment in response, just showing that, in these aim duels, it's anyone's game between these two teams.
Well, IFM now looking to fight tooth and nail for this next point, but to be honest, now that's being contested by both sides, still not going the way of IFM. PrideX once again stamp their control directly on it. A few good nades, though, will be able to clear out some of the members here, but PrideX still maintaining control of that point, and as you can see here, 20 seconds still left to go. IFM are trying to regroup to get their way in, but it's not happening to their advantage at this point. Danger on the side here. A bit of a slide tackle into there, but it's not going to matter in the end, and you can see he's going to be taken out anyway, but even though they've managed to cull this off, is there's still going to be the dying moments of the round. And I feel the only reason they picked up that hard point is because PrideX is moving to the next one.
Absolutely. PrideX have said, look, let's not wrestle for that. It's a bit risky. Let's get the next one. We can lock it down, get our team members set up comfortable. And they have. So now it's just about holding this, picking off the advance from IFM. IFM just trying to find an entry here. They are getting taken down. Great frag from Perfect IQ, sending the fighter home, as we love to see his big brain plays constantly on the screen. This is the kind of action that you expect to see on a hard point like this, where one team just plays, they wrestle for a bit, and then they'll move on to the next one, saying, "Look, you know what? I think we'll do better on the next hard."
Oh yeah, now this is in. Wow.
The monster is alight right now, just going straight and saying, "Let's get rid of the pressure from PrideX and just clear them out of there."
That seems that after these initial plays, it was a fire lit into Fiend's belly, and he just wanted to get in there and get the points. So now that they're actually getting a decent chunk of this holding here on this next hard point, you can see still 12 seconds or 10 seconds left to go, and the points are evening right on up. IFM have come into this round a little bit late, but they're definitely here to play.
Absolutely, that Predator missile getting nothing for them. PrideX seeing that coming in and just getting their right positioning in place. Now comes a Hunter Killer Drone. Will this be the kill that opens up the space for IFM to take this hard point off PrideX? PrideX, no, shutting it down, dodging it. They're dancing, they're moving, they're picking up some frags. Kane working hard. IFM can't get into this hard point just yet. It is neck and neck right now. Points are even on the board. Fiend with two big kills, the Annihilator, and the frags are just not going the way that IFM needed to until now. And in the hardpoint, they go wrestling that off PrideX. Unfortunate for PrideX, who is so well set up in there. IFM just proving they can take apart a team if they need to.
PrideX now getting ready to launch their counterattack into place. In transposition here for IFM, you can see Mad Max is looking pretty happy behind the forklift here. Will get one kill. It's falling through, gets two kills as well. This is exactly what IFM need to maintain control of this point. Finally, he'll go down, but still that damage was done. IFM are holding relatively strong here as well. And now again, there's the response skills coming on through point after point. PrideX just can't get a break against IFM at the moment.
And when you see momentum build on players like Fiend, it's just really dangerous as he just starts to get comfortable in his fragging zone. And Mad Max going really large this round, clocking frag after frag as well. We're seeing IFM just find their groove. They know this is game point for them if they can win it, and they just don't want PrideX to take into a fifth map so they can feel reserved and ready for their second matchup against Mindfreak in the finals. But the response from PrideX is still to come. There's still time for them to take this out. They just need to get the next hard point to really feel comfortable. Unfortunate, IFM have taken that off PrideX and are just sitting there collecting more and more points. We need to see PrideX really step up at this point and start locking down another hard point, or unfortunately it's just all going against them now.
Unfortunate for PrideX, but definitely fortunate for IFM, who are now beginning to really push this lead out of the grasp for PrideX, looking to go up against Mindfreak once again. If they manage to finish out this round, they're looking in a really good position to get into this, because of course they've already got those 2 kills or those 2 points beforehand underneath them. Now we can see there seems to be a bit of a scramble coming through. IFM are dropping kill streaks, dropping every form of resource they possibly can to get in. PrideX are trying to find a way through, but that turret was doing work. It does finally go down, but they've only got here 6 seconds for this next point to open up. 143 points to 76. PrideX need to have control of this map on this next hard point if they're going to be able to do it. And it's going to be IFM once again. These final points are coming in, and it looks like they've clinched it.
Yes, they have closed it out. 3-1 against PrideX Ivory. So well played up and, all the way through by PrideX Ivory. There was a part of me that really wanted to see PrideX Ivory come through and on top so we could see if they had what it took to take down Mindfreak. But now we'll see IFM move forward into that grand final matchup up from the lower bracket to face Mindfreak once again. And PrideX Ivory, congratulations, moving into third place position where they'll be taking home a bit of the prize pool.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that ranking, that is nothing to scoff at. A very convincing performance, not only in the grand finals, but throughout the entire competition for Pride X Ivory. So thank you so much for putting on a fantastic show for all of us to watch. Really appreciate the effort coming into it. And again, a congratulations to IFM getting themselves back into that rematch for Mindfreak. Mal, you got to see it on the sidelines. You got to analyze the play. How did IFM do it? They looked so different on that hard point in comparison to the first map. Is it, again, just those nerves coming into play, or was there a specific change in their play?
Yeah, it just seems to be something about the first game that just sets IFM off. In the second hard point, we did see around a 30-point lead to Pride at the beginning. However, it was IFM who were able to eventually come back and win by quite a bit, honestly. They did very well at adjusting their playstyle.
I think once IFM in that last map there figured out how Pride X were going to play the map, and they just unleashed the Fiend essentially.
There you go. Well, with the Fiend unleashed, we will also get to see the rest of IFM unlock. And now we've set the game and the board. This is the moment that everyone has been waiting for. It's going to be Mindfreak up against IFM in the finals. We're going to set the board. We're going to set the maps. We're going to set up the players. So please just hang around a little bit longer. We're going to a short break.
Welcome back to Season 3 of the COD Mobile Community Challenge for ANZ. Before we get into it, let's congratulate both Mindfreak and IFM for making it into the Grand Finals. And this is a moment we've all been waiting for. This is where we get to crown our victors. But we do need to take a quick look at the brackets to see how the story was painted out over the last 2 days. And as we can see with the brackets here, our first and second seeds were able to push through as expected. A few roadblocks were put up for IFM, but now they're moving to what feels like a David and Goliath matchup. And we all know Mindfreak is the Goliath here. Kwan, what's your feelings on this?
Look, we've seen these kind of matchups come up before between Mindfreak and IFM, right? And you are correct in calling Mindfreak the Goliath. They are absolutely the team to beat. IFM showing that, in the winners final just before, they can only pick up one map. It's going to be one of those matchups where if IFM want to take this out, they need to pull up, the most incredible play they've ever done before to really shock the Mindfreak system and send them packing.
And they're finding off balance, putting them off kilter, definitely a tough task to complete. But when I throw it to Mao, you're the player here. You're the one that's competed professionally. This is a team that's now played 2 rounds beforehand, and they're coming up against a fresh team in Mindfreak. How does that begin to weigh down on that mentality? Are you feeling fresh still after those 2 matches, or are you starting to get a bit of a drain?
Well, they definitely won't be able to really be feeling fresh anymore. However, they are definitely going to be warmed up and ready to go for this final matchup. Mindfreak and IFM have already gone at it, as you just said before, in the winners final. So we're going to be seeing if IFM or Mindfreak are able to adjust to each other's playstyles a bit more to maybe get that extra map win.
I couldn't put it any better myself. And one of the things we need to discuss is, of course, that IFM elephant in the room. These guys tend to drop that first map on Hardpoint. That's pretty rough. It's obviously going to put you down on off to a bad mentality start, and then having to fight back is always tough. Yes, they can reset. Yes, they wouldn't be in the finals if it wasn't for the fact that they're able to fight through it. But it's still pretty hard to come back on. Is this something that they can fix moving into the finals, being a bit warmer, Kwan, or do you reckon we're probably bound to see history repeat itself?
Look, my experience tells me that they should have been able to fix it by now. They played Mindfreak already, so any surprise that Mindfreak had that would have kept IFM on the back foot, is done. They should be coming into this as if it's the 5th map from a continuation of the winners finals, and really Pride X Ivory, as much as that was their last matchup, that was just warm up to get ready for this. So I'd be surprised if they get so overwhelmed again in the first map, and then that would really tell everybody that they have a genuinely awful weakness on their first map when they come into it. But I think IFM should have really learned from that. Whether they can take it out, I don't know, but it should be a lot closer.
I want to keep on going down this point with you, Kwan. And one of the things you actually brought up in the break that we didn't touch on right after the game was Natty was actually the top fragger in that particular map. That's actually really impressive considering the fact that he's also the shot caller for the team, or the proclaimed shot caller. The fact that he's now unlocked, warmed up, ready to go, and of course still on point, I reckon that's a fire that the team from IFM can really benefit from.
Yeah, look, we've seen it before. Natty can go large himself. He is a very good player. So what it tells me is that when IFM get comfortable that their strats are set in stone and everyone's kind of just in sync and they're gelling really well, Natty can start focusing on his own gunplay. And that's what we saw there. And it's really exciting to see. And I think, that kind of strength coming in against Mindfreak, they're going to have a lot more comfort around, okay, let's pick some strats, everyone work with them, and let's all focus on just picking up those frags so we can open up all of our strategy on the map.
So one of the things I want to discuss is that idea of roamers as well, and I'm going to throw it to you, Mal, in that sense. With roamers in teams and stuff, are these the ones that are considered to be a bit of the standout, or perhaps maybe their ability to be versatile in the moment is what allows them to actually take this advantage? Can you give me an idea on that sort of mind frame of how do these teams pick who's going to be their roamer?
Yeah, versatility is definitely very important when you're trying to play a Slayer role or a roamer role. So yeah, versatility, like you said, it is very good to have to frag out.
And how hard is it to actually implement that? Because I think something that Kwan was telling me before is that idea most of these teams don't actually opt into it. And I'm going to throw that back to you, Kwan. They tend to have a very stagnant point of saying, this is your role in the team, that we don't have room for roamers just yet. But I feel both IFM and Mindfreak definitely have that. Mindfreak seem to have it perfected, and IFM are now beginning to scratch at the tail for it.
Yeah, look, there's so many players with potential to do it, right? And so, look, I would say on IFM, you keep an eye out for Natty, keep an eye out for Fiend, keep an eye out for Danger. Either one are going to be playing that role for them. And this is the kind of thing where if your team can start to hold their own or confidently execute on a strategy, the roamer can head out there and just start picking up frags or opening up those opportunities to get in behind. And as the strategy executes, grab those frags. So, we'll see it really clear as Crystal on Search and Destroy. Hardpoint and Domination is going to be a lot harder to figure out who's really working that angle. But, if they can find their groove, they can work it. And I do think IFM have that potential. I actually think when you come up against Mindfreak, one of the working strategies you want to play is having one of those really successful roamers, because I don't think a slow strat or just trying to line up and do some great aim drilling against Mindfreak is going to work out for you. I think you need to play them at their own game and send players in around behind and just start creating chaos.
Look, we've been talking a lot about the teams, but I do want to just touch on the weapons. I think even the chat has been having a little bit of an argument here. And Mao, I'm going to defer to you on this one. It's going to be you that's giving out that hot, spicy take, whether everyone in chat's going to be thinking, hey, is this the real Mao or the fake Mao giving it right now? I want to know, Fennec or Bison? What's the winner there? Come on. You have to until you throw down your gauntlet, which one is it going to be?
Well, I know that a lot of people really do like the Fennec just because of its insane potential at close range. With its very fast fire rate, its fast time to kill, it's definitely going to be the better weapon at close range. However, I would pick the Bison just because of its super low recoil, its huge magazine size, it's got a really nice time to kill, and it's got a decent fire rate. So personally, I would be picking the Bison just because of the versatility that it has.
All right, now we do need to talk about that other thing in the room here, the ASL Val with a little bit of a modifications to it. Kwan, you were telling me about how this can be a very versatile weapon that the teams can use as well. We haven't really been seeing it. Is it something that could be brought up to the table now just to throw I guess, say a little bit of chaos into the mix?
Look, the Asphalt is an interesting one, right? Because it's all about how you build it. The Asphalt has a high time to kill, but a low magazine, right? So you need to add extra magazine rounds on there so you can keep spraying, especially in COD Mobile, where spraying it can be really punishing. We saw that with the fighter and the Bison. He burnt like 50 bullets trying to hit a player, and that's the forgiveness the Bison gives you. Low recoil, lots of magazine, you can just keep going. But with an Asphalt, he would have been done and having to reclip. So there's a lot of high risk action out of the Asphalt, but the damage is good. It's a stable platform. You can move quick with it, and that's it. That's what excites a lot of players, and they'll start opting for that if they want that medium to short range capability. Whereas your Fenix and so on are really better at close range only.
Well, we are still getting the players ready, but something that we do have ready to present to you now is, of course, that map pool. And let's bring that up. Let's have a look at what's been banned away, what's been kept up there as well. Now, as we can see here, I think we do have a little bit of a cool fade coming into it as well. Hardpoint is going to be the first map, as per usual, and it's going to be Hackney Yard, followed through by Search and Destroy on Raid, Domination on Standoff. Then for our Hardpoint, it's going to be Firing Range, something that we love to see because these teams love to know it. And finishing it off will be Search and Destroy on Summit. Once again, the maps for the bans are going to be Crossfire and Takeoff. And guys, we never got to see Crossfire in finals. How sad is that?
Very unfortunate.
Pack it up and send it home.
It's the players are letting everyone know right now. Activision, Crossfire needs a rework, okay? You guys need to fix this one up because the players do not want to play on it. Of course, Hackney Yard, we've been seeing quite a fair bit. It is fantastic to see on that Hardpoint as well. A lot of different ways, a lot of different avenues for them to play it out. How do you think this is going to play out? Is it going to be a Mindfreak win, considering the fact that IFM have pretty much fallen down on this map and on this particular game mode time after time?
Well, yeah, I do think it's going to be another Mindfreak win just because of the next level dominance that they've shown each team. They already beat IFM 3-1, and I feel like they're going to be able to do it again.
Now, I want to throw it back to you. I'm going to give you the hard one here, Quan. I mean, IFM, again, have been showing us some pretty good talent in the sense of, Danger, Fiend, Natty. These are the guys that will need to be able to frag out to do it. Will they be looking through via I guess you could say give me a second here, via the flanks to come into it, to actually catch Mindfreak off guard? Or do these guys take it down the guts, bring it straight to him? What will probably be the best way for IFM to play this one out?
Look, okay, let's deep dive into the IFM.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down.
Yeah, we definitely know that when Natty is the shot caller, right? And so his understanding and depth of the game really comes to fore. And the reason he can put, big frags on the board is because his big brain moments start to play out, right? His mind is like a tactical machine. He can see the field of play on the other team. And so once he starts saying, I can just focus on fragging now, he's going to be outplaying. So what I think it's going to be about, it's not so much the flanks. What it's going to be is someone like Natty saying, okay, I get where Mindfreak's going. I get who I can trip up and who I can shoot in the back or surprise and so on, and really break down Mindfreak, and just letting him go out there and find those openings. And the only way he's going to really do that, I think, is when you let both Fiend and Danger off the chain and just keep fragging while the other two focus on some kind of objective completion. So let's say in Hardpoint, you want Fiend and Danger out there just engaging and letting Natty get up in behind and create chaos, whilst Supreme and the Fighter might be just locking down the Hardpoint and collecting points, right? That's probably going to be a very effective play. Don't know if they're going to do it. Don't know if they're going to listen and take my advice. Maybe they think it's rubbish. Who knows? But that's the kind of machine that IFM offers. And I think for Mindfreak, that might be the most dangerous IFM to face, is when they really find a groove and every player's got a role and they're just executing on that role.
Quan, I put you in the hot seat, and man, did you deliver on that. I could not put that any better myself, and I'm sure that would be the same for Mao. But Mao, you're not escaping the hot seat either, mate. I'm going to give it to you too. It's going to be a tough one. We've seen how strong IFM can be on Search and Destroy, and it really looked like they put Mindfreak through an absolute ringer in that previous round that they played against them. Now, that seems to be the elephant in the room for Mindfreak. How do they fix that? Have they been watching the maps? Do you think maybe they might be able to pinpoint what IFM are doing differently to them, and that might come up with a counterplay strategy?
Well, yeah, you did say IFM is super strong at the Search and Destroy. So what I think Mindfreak is just going to have to do is you're just going to have to take a step back, maybe just have a breather, try to think of what IFM is wanting to do, and just try and counter that in any way they can.
Well, we are still waiting for these players to get ready, jump into it as well. I'm really going to be excited as well for that Search and Destroy map, because I really feel like IFM can then set the pace that they want to, and that's when they look really competitive. And it is going to be key on this hard point for IFM to show Mindfreak that they are here to play, because if they do just throw away another map just like that, I feel like it's going to spell the downfall for IFM. Looking at Mindfreak here, we know for a fact they just need to remain consistent, play the way they need to. Looking at My Darling, typically as the Roma coming into it, looking for them to play through. And every other member on Mindfreak as well. I mean, Raker, Dinka, just strong performances across the board. This is something where, the team has no identifiable weaknesses. Maybe you can catch them off kilter for that one moment, but then they just come back so much stronger once they put their game face on. So a lot of being there. Quan, any thoughts before we do jump into it?
Yeah, look, as the players are ready and we jump into the map, I would have to just say on Mindfreak, what makes them so strong is you have My Darling, who is a great entry fragger, whilst also being their captain. Supreme takes a really strong supporting role there with the scopes or any lenses that anyone puts in his hand, essentially, and they use that to effect. You put My Darling at the point of the spear and Supreme at the back end of the spear, and they just work the map really well. And all players are confident, all players are in sync, and they know how to just keep taking pokes at the other team.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for your patience. The game has been set. The players are running into the map, and this will be the grand final opening map between Mindfreak and IFN. Already, these guys are off to a quick start, and the frags are going down.
Absolutely. We're seeing some pretty heavy frags come out. IFM have taken the first hard point pretty confidently. Fiend opening up with those first frags. Danger jumping in as well. But Mindfreak having the equal response, just saying, look, every frag you put up, we'll put one down too. And now we're going to take this hard point right off you and say, thank you, ma'am, but this is ours.
It's incredible how Mindfreak, even after such a strong start from IFM, can just hit back so quickly and jump back onto this point. Now you can see IFM are beginning to push their way through once again as well, but still unable to take control of this map. It is being held down by Supreme. Here we go. A few members jumping in. Fighter will finally be able to clear them off the map and start taking some of those points back in their favor.
Absolutely. You know, one thing I'm seeing here is that whenever they're holding a site and an IFM player turns up, there's always two guns on them. So Mindfreak, that reaction, that synergy they have between the players is just serving them so well. They're letting that go, though, to IFM on the last few seconds, and they've already fully set up in the next hard point over down here just to make sure that, hey, look, you know what, you can have a few points, but we'll get the majority of these.
A much more stronger start coming through from IFM. You can see 31-26 at the moment. Mindfreak again, other ones have entrenched their position here. Dinka, so good, just picks over the side, starts getting frags left, right, and center. As you can see, continuing to hold this point of avenue that IFM are trying to get in. Finally, he goes down. There's still 3 members here locked into the hard point that need to be taken out before IFM can get control of the point, and Mindfreak are holding strong.
Absolutely. Look, Mindfreak have set up a really good defensive position here down by the dock. And so you're really wanting to see IFM make some openings, but they, you know, as their players get in, they're just not having enough support from behind. Dinka countering there, sending Fiend home. But the thing is, this is the kind of play that works really well for Mindfreak when they can set up, get themselves in positions where they can support each other, and the other team just can't find the positioning to open up correctly and really get in there and crack them open. But you know, this is where IFM have to put in all the hard yards. They need to recognize this. They need to pull back and say, okay, let's not let Mindfreak get comfortable on this map. As they move into the next hard point, this is just going to be another frag fest where we watch Mindfreak pick up a lot of points one after the other.
Yeah, but it looks like IFM have done their due diligence. They've actually managed to clean out most of the area and put themselves in that position for the point. But Mindfreak are now beginning to pull out the score streak to say, you know what, you might have preparation. Trauma, and they're dropping it right on down. Hunter Killer Burns also out as well, and now they've managed to regain control of this point. 83-37. They're beginning to run away with
advantage point, picking up frags, but you know, not enough to follow up from IFM to actually capture the hard point. They do open it up, but they can't get a body on there to collect any points whatsoever. Mindfreak are just really keeping IFM off that point at the moment, and then Mindfreak just walk back on.
They're pretty happy for them. They're more than willing to just move off the point. Now, IFM are beginning to launch their attack, but as they're beginning to move in, beginning to get mowed down, the turret being put down for good measure as well. We can see some of these members are now locked behind the containers trying to get in, and still to no avail will not be able to make it happen. This is going to be the dying point now for this one, as we do move to the next opening point. Relatively close in position. IFM might be able to get to point, but Mindfreak just so quick on that rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're fighting over it from here at Office, and that Annihilator comes out with Riker getting up one frag, and that's just, you know, this is the kind of timing and pace that Mindfreak start to display. They get into the pace of the game, they unlock all of their streaks and start using them quite effectively to make sure they've got a strong finish. But IFM actually wrestle this point back. They're on the board. They're starting to tick up. Can they close this gap? Can they be in this? They're really holding this now. We don't see much of a Mindfreak action here. Chill does dive in and clean out the site to convert it over to Mindfreak, though. Unfortunate for IFM, who were sitting pretty there for a moment.
Chill being so good with those slides, with those dives every single time. Not only did he clear out the site and get control of it, he moved directly into the next flank and continue to clear out. He will fall down to Natty in the end, and the damage has been done, though. We are getting IFM back onto the point to pick up the slivers. Riker's trying to fight it back, but will to no avail for the time being. And now Mindfreak will be able to happily move into that next position, and it's going to be up to IFM to jump in across it. And they're on the other side of the map. Mindfreak in such a good position.
Absolutely. So Mindfreak have, you know, as usual, pre-set up. IFM are now having to do the work to capture. We're seeing some frags come out. Chill picks up one, traded by Natty. Unfortunately, you know, this is not enough action to open it up, but it has kept Mindfreak off the point for a little bit of time until they could find some comfort to actually sit on there and pick up some points.
Mindfreak once again now in control of this zone. As you can see, IFM are trying to push in, but to no avail.
140 now. The points are going into the closing moments of this round. IFM need to do a big rush right here, right now, if they want to stop Mindfreak from taking the first round. And it seems Deja Vu is coming into it. IFM are making a push, but it's not going to be enough. And it looks like Mindfreak will be clinching this out as expected. History once again repeating itself. And it was looking a little bit more competitive there for IFM. You can see they were definitely trying to fight off those points, but Mindfreak just too strong. Mal, I want to defer to you. You've been watching the entire map. You've been able to see everything there. Was it the rotations? Was it the initial mechanics? What was it that allowed Mindfreak to clinch that one out?
Well, like you did say, it was definitely a closer game than what happened in the earlier Hardpoint games that Mindfreak and IFM have played together. Definitely a better performance from IFM compared to the 150-32 that happened at the winners bracket. So IFM and Mindfreak also still playing very well. They're just, like I'm saying over and over, they're still on that next level, just showing their dominance.
I really want to highlight Chill here, Kwan. I mean, can you break it away? Even you said Chill was just off on a different level, 28 kills.
Yeah, like Chill shone right then and there. He was picking up those frags, working really hard. But you know that overperformance is really just a sign of he's one of the players in the right place at the right time. Because Mindfreak, if you looked at how they were playing, they were setting up on those points as if it was a search and destroy. Like they were really locking down their positions and saying, you want to come in and take this off us, you're going to have to really work hard for it. And that's a really interesting pace compared to what we've seen in the past on Hardpoint, where it does get a bit chaotic. Players are intermingled in each other. There's a lot of fast trading back and forth at the point, whereas Mindfreak really found some comfort there. And Chill was able to get into a groove there and just work his magic.
And that's why Mindfreak seem to be the benchmark for this competition, why they are the team to beat, the ability to find organization in chaos. That's an attractive trait. And that's something I really do like the sound of as well. That being said, though, we are moving from one team strength to the other team strength. IFM have been pretty competitive against Mindfreak and every other team in this competition in that Search and Destroy. And then, of course, that is going to be on Raid. Mal, I'm looking to you here. Search and Destroy on Raid. Can you give me a rundown of that map? How do you reckon that's going to play out?
Well, as we saw IFM versus Pridex in the losers bracket just before, it was a very, very close game. IFM barely able to win against Pridex, which is a very impressive performance for Pridex, which is my opinion. And so basically what I think is it could be very sided towards Mindfreak or IFM. It depends on if they're able to learn from the game versus Pridex.
Well, let's see if that has been picked up. If Mindfreak was watching, IFM, of course, need to get themselves onto the scoreboard because, of course, that does mean the next map will be that domination. We know Mindfreak loves to dominate in every single way possible when it comes to Call of Duty Mobile Community Challenge. I mean, we're jumping straight into it. Seems to be a big rush.
Did pick Raid for Search and Destroy, right? So IFM have a plan here, and whether or not it's the learnings from when they played against Pridex or the confidence that they've just done it once before, there's a confidence here that IFM picked it up against Mindfreak here. So all eyes on IFM for this is their choice.
We are going to have a very quick trade-offs at the start of this opening round. As we can see, it's going to be one each there, but Dinka will be able to find another attacker for IFM, taking them down and continuing to get their frags out. IFM do strike back with some trades, but it's still going to be, actually, no, it is going to be a 2-on-2 now. IFM trying to get in. They don't have access to the bomb just yet, so they're going to have to expose themselves in order to get the bomb and get that planted.
Absolutely, and we're going to watch Dinka just trying to find a new angle as they go into a 1v1 situation now with that quick trade-off. It's now Fiend taking on Not Sure. But it looks really tough here in this 1v1 situation. Dinka versus Fiend. Absolutely. So these two players just working it around, moving around the map, just hunting each other at this point. It's a little bit of cat and mouse.
Cloak and Dagger seems to be the name of the game. You can see both these players just moving around the map now. And it really is going to be Fiend to be someone that's a bit more proactive. I mean, at the end of the day, if that bomb doesn't get planted, that does mean that the map does count out and it will be Mindfreak the victory here. So I feel like now if that is recognized by Dinka that he needs to get back to the bomb and get the plant down, he should be able to do it. You can see that Dinka does recognize this, but he's just not in a good enough position and the plant's coming down and it looks like it's going to swip back into the favor of Fiend. And if I had to have a player on the side of AFM to try and clinch this out, it would be Fiend.
Oh, and
he
Fiend
does
picks it up. Both players thinking the same thing. Let's head around the back, and Fiend just more ready with his crosshair there to drop Dinka. First round goes to IFM.
And this is what we expected. We know IFM just seem to excel on that search and destroy. Mindfreak really need to pull out all the stops here if they're going to stop IFM from having any points onto the board. It is going to be another bit of a quick play here coming across from Mindfreak, who have spread out, but IFM taking it a little bit slower, having a few members go into that roaming position and just holding back for a delayed invade.
Absolutely. So IFM have a plan on this map, and we're going to be watching what that is. They've picked it. They've thought about it. They've tried a bunch of, they wrestled with Pridex, and I think they're just going to try their hand at all their learnings against Mindfreak here. So this is really them just having a little think, feeling out what Mindfreak's going to do, and being so reserved. I almost think they thought Mindfreak might send out some of their players on a bit of a scouting mission, and Mindfreak actually also playing reserve. So neither side anywhere to learn anything from each other. Who's holding what position, who's moving where. Neither side are actually figuring out much. The only thing I would say that is Mindfreak are definitely not sure where IFM are going to play, which is not a great
the feelers
thing.
Are going out. But here's the rush. Seems to be going towards B. What a great position for Riker. Manages to clear out one of two members directly afterwards. IFM are getting completely mowed down. Mindfreak taking control of this second round here on the Search and Destroy. And now it's really up to Fiend to make something happen. I mean, I like the chances of Fiend, but against 5 members strong for Mindfreak, there's just too many targets to shoot out and not enough ammo to give out. And it's going to be Mindfreak takes round.
We see that a lot from Fiend. He likes to go big, and in those scenarios where he's really, the odds are against him, he just sort of says, "Just fight me," and just dives out there and doesn't really take any time to sit back and think of anything slower than that. And so, unfortunate for him, it didn't work out.
Fiend definitely a big personality in his play. I'd love to have a chance to sit down with him, have a drink at some point in time. Hopefully once this lockdown's over. But now we're moving straight back into the gameplay. Mindfreak are onto the back foot with their IFM finding already one of their defenders. And the other thing on the flip side, they've planted already. The IFM very quick on this side. And look at this go. Fiend now says, you know what? I wasn't able to go big in the last round, but I'm going to go big this round, finding another 2 members. But there is going to be fight back from Mindfreak. 2 members from IFM going down.
Yeah, going into a 2v2, both Fiend and Danger went on the roam while IFM did a massive rush into A. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for them as Reich is able to close this out with the defuse. But that was a really interesting play. And I think that's where they're trying to just put Mindfreak off put, where, send out Danger and Fiend into a roaming position whilst the rest of the team makes for an objective play.
What I also love is the versatility from IFM. Beforehand, the initial round, it seemed to be balanced. To send a few through, make the plays happen, all good. Second round, very reserved, sitting back, waiting for opportunities. Directly afterwards, super quick rounds. They're trying to throw Mindfreak off, and although it's not really working, it's still giving us a very exciting gameplay and could perhaps bear fruit in the near future. Again, no real games have come down, but it will be chill finding Danger, just jumping straight on through. That was such a quick turn on the crosshair. Now beginning to make the other moves around.
Absolutely. The one thing you're going to see when someone like Chill starts roaming is, he's actually hunting the other roamer. And so, it comes down to an aim duel. And unfortunately, Danger was just caught with his pants down on the stairs there, looking in the wrong direction. This is the level of play we're watching here, where one team can really look at what you're doing and pick it apart and send a response in there. It's now a 3v4 situation, thanks to my darling. IFM on the back foot in this round. No openings yet. Not sure which bomb site to work on. They're all down in mid, trying to figure out, which is a really tough position to be in when you've got, the defending team starting to rotate. They're trying to work out where can they find an opening, and they just need a solid pick, but I don't think they're going to find one with these positions.
You can see right now IFM are trying to put themselves in a point where they can drop the bomb down. There's going to be some shots coming out from IFM Matty, but they're all going to miss. Dinka will be able to find him in the end. Now it's going to be a 4-on-2. This is looking at like a harder and harder task now for IFM to get the win. Still have access to the bomb, but still nowhere to plant it. And you can see here another member dropping down for IFM. Now it's going to be all down to Fiend. I mean, I like Fiend's chances and as you can see, he's got the pistol in hand now. He's trying to move around, perhaps pick up a different weapon. Will swap it around, continuing to frag out. Will get a kill, is able to break it down to a 1-on-2, but that counter was dropping down. Currently less than 10 seconds to go, and with there being 2 members, the sniper from Supreme is going to be more than enough to finish him off.
Absolutely. Supreme doesn't miss when he scopes in. So unfortunate for Fiend there to come up into a situation like that when in a desperate clutch like that. Fiend works hard. He puts in the effort, but, you don't want to sit between Fiend who favors SMGs and Supreme who favors scopes in a big open field like that. All right, so we're going to see Mindfreak actually pushing straight up mid in a rush. They're going to get up in the face of IFM. Is it going to work out as it sits at a 3v3? Both teams dropping 2 frags. It's now to 2-3. Mindfreak catching IFM all out of position right now. It's a 1v2 situation. It's all up to Danger. Danger's not a bad player for IFM to have left up on the clutch situation. He's done this before many times, but he can't beat Supreme and Dinka, the duo with the most. Interesting push by Mindfreak. They're saying, we're not going to let you keep trying different strats. We're going to throw you off by doing a new strat and rushing you down mid. That was a really interesting play.
I was touching on the versatility of IFM before, but Mindfreak can play the same game too. We've swapped sides now. I want to quickly touch on you here. What's Mindfreak doing differently that they're just showing up IFM at the moment?
Well, they've definitely been utilizing the numbers very well so far that I've seen. Right here, you see, even though they were down just for a second, they're able to get some quick kills to bring it down to a 3v2. However, they did drop 1 player, which brings it down to a 2v2.
Another quick match off the back here as well. Mindfreak now on to IFM, on to Kwan. What do you reckon this is going to happen here?
Look, this is an interesting play again. Mindfreak doing another rush. Supreme quick scope picks up 1. He's going to work on for the final one. It's a 1v2 situation. Supreme does get another quick scope on Danger, and that's what is so dangerous about Supreme. He is the scope with the most in this pool of players, and that was just such a brilliant play by Supreme. You never see in tight situations like that a sniper saying, I'm going to face check corners and pick up the kills until you see a scope in the hands of Supreme. Mindfreak really wanting to close this out. They've done 3 aggressive strats now. This is another rush. They're pushing. Well, now that they're on attacker, it makes sense. But now they're pushing straight in to finish it out. But they get blunted. They're returning now. They're doing a rush back to A. So they're doing a bit of a fake there. And it has worked for them. They're sitting in advantage 4 against 3.
They're literally running circles around IFM at the moment. They rushed through B, picked up a few kills, and said, you know what? I don't like this spot. A sounds much like a cool location to me. Makes the move around. IFM now scrambling to get in. They do have 3 members coming from different fronts, but at the end, one of them is going to drop down. Fiend, that's going to go down as well. It's going to be up to Danger. He's going to be taken out by Mad Max. And this is just too much on the side here. Mad Max does find someone in the end here, but this is just too much for him to handle. 1 versus 2. He's going to have to look to clutch here, because if Mindfreak win this, they do take the round. And as you can see, he's trying to find a way in. Bomb has been planted. Mad Max sitting down on the side here as well. Chill holding the 1 entrance on the other side. As you can see, it's going to be blocked out as well by the other member from Mindfreak. He's going to be flipping around to this side, but he's coming in. He's going to find one. He's going to find a hit marker, but not the kill. Chill is going to be able to get away. Another few hits there is going to put Chill behind. But of course, the other member is sitting on beside and Raker in the corner, just happy to sit back, not showing himself. Will finish off the final member from IFM, and that's going to be Mindfreak completely reverse sweeping them the other way around. This was a 6-1 last time for IFM. Now Mindfreak says, you know what, you can do 6-1, we can do 6-1 too. And just look at that scoreline. Raker obviously being the kill leader there, but there was just so much good showings across the board from Mindfreak. It's understandable why they were able to take this one out.
I have to say that Supreme picked up some pretty critical frags in those key clutch moments that IFM was facing. So, really a lot of work coming out from Supreme there with critical kills. And, that's something that made all the difference, I think.
And now things get a lot tougher for IFM. I mean, we'd love to see them come back, make that reverse sweep, but it doesn't seem likely. It's domination time now.
Finals, right? This is it.
This is it.
There's no second chances after this. This is all it comes down to now. Mindfreak are up 2 maps. It is a best of 5. IFM need to win 3 in a row to close this out and take first place. And first place is nothing to laugh at. There is a lot of cash on the line for first place. So, IFM is sitting here thinking, how are we going to do this? And, me as a commentator, as a sideline spectator, I want to see IFM pull something out that just upsets Mindfreak. But the strength that Mindfreak have, I just don't think it can be done. I think Mindfreak is sitting really pretty here. They're ready to rock, and they're going to send IFM packing and take out that champion spot for a 3rd season in a row.
it has to be something surprising. It has to be something that completely blows away Mindfreak to understand what's happening here. Because I feel like every little sort of attack strategy you might throw at them, maybe you could sort of say, get a little bit of a wince on their face, where they go, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's nice. But it just seems to roll off them the same way that water rolls off rubber. Mal, what have you got for me, mate? You need to give me something here.
Well, what you said about how IFM will need to win 3 in a row to be able to take first place in this tournament. However, considering the Goliath that Mindfreak is, like you were saying before, how Mindfreak is such a Goliath, I just don't see it being possible.
I feel if this was being, that scenario of a Goliath versus David a matchup right now, I feel at this point, it's one of those things where the hand just sort of like slaps David and you see David go flying. He hits the side of the wall, tilts down the side, rolls over a little bit, and now he needs to find his slingshot. He needs to get himself back into position. It's that moment when Goliath goes, you know what? I'm just going to joke, have a bit of a drink on the side here, then go look for you. You know what I mean? It just seems it's going so much the way of Mindfreak. How do they come back? And I guess it's going to be something where they need to somehow chop out those legs, find out who it's going to be. I mean, I'm looking at My Darling, I'm looking at Supreme and Chill. If they're able to lock them down, if they're able to stop their movements, that should allow them to do it. And I hope Natty's able to identify that and say to his team, hey guys, these are the players you need to look out. These are the ones that are really holding together Mindfreak at the moment. They're the ones on fire. I'm not trying to discount any of the other members from Mindfreak at the moment, but Chill, Supreme, they just seem to be so on point right now. I feel like if they can find a way to lock them down, they can possibly bring something back.
Yeah. So we're going to have a lineup change up from Mindfreak, who are going to swap out My Darling with Tokka. It's going to be interesting because I don't know if that's going to change up too much for them. Being as that, we've seen so much hard work being put in by Riker, Supreme, and Chill, as you mentioned there. But My Darling's bowing out. He's probably got to go to lunch or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or they're just opting to mix things up to guarantee the win. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Well, will that create a weakness? Don't know. Maybe because Tokka hasn't had much time to gel with the rest of the players over the last few maps, he might not be able to get into the groove, and that gives IFM a bit more opportunity to win out a map here.
This is something that we've seen throughout different competitions where they do swap in players late out of the blue. Part of the reason is because they do get to see the full view of the map when they're spectating. They do get to see the way particular players do play, and that means that bring that little bit of extra information, that little bit of extra knowledge to the team to help them close it out. Mal, has this something that you've ever seen before where one player's been able to sit back, watch the first 2 maps, identify specific weaknesses of the enemy teams, the enemy players, and then begin to exploit it?
Well, yeah, I definitely have seen it before in some other tournaments. However, right now, I don't think a singular player is going to be able to make that much of a massive effect when you're going up against Mindfreak, just because of the high skill that they have. And once I said again, well, like I said before, a 3-win streak here for IFM would be very unlikely.
Well, I'm going to be interested to see. I mean, that idea is the question now. Is Tokka going to be the final nail in the coffin for IFM, or will it be the beginning of the comeback? And it has to be something amazing. I don't think they've got it. I'm going to be honest. I have to be honest here. I wish IFM can just prove me wrong right now. But looking at the way Mindfreak's playing, they are straight fire. If they could be the speed of light, they'd be faster than the Flash. Everything just seems to be going their way. They seem unstoppable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was kind of hoping that maybe if IFM could pull out some really confident plays and just start diving in on Mindfreak, that it would work for them. But unfortunately, every time IFM did that, Mindfreak just fragged them. So let's get into Domination standoff and hopefully see what might be different.
That's right. I mean, the players are ready and set to go. They're starting it up now. We're just loading in. And again, like you said, it's going to be Domination and standoff. It's currently 2 up for Mindfreak, looking to clinch the final map and be crowned the victors of the COD Mobile Season 3 Community Challenge. Will IFM be able to survive an extra map, or will Mindfreak close it out? In the 10 seconds, we'll begin, and we'll get to see the results of it.
Alrighty, we're seeing them all just loading up. The countdown goes down. We're going to watch. Last time we saw them, they were trading ANZ. We might see this action happen again. We've already got both two players from Mindfreak, Chill and it looks like Supreme, heading down to work out on A. They do clash into IFM, who might have had the same idea and heading down the same way past Tractor here and Fountain, but unfortunately, they both stall each other as they clash face to face, trading frag for frag. B is now going to be the contested site with IFM taking full control of that, and that's it. B and C in favor of IFM, and A only left to Mindfreak.
Yeah, both of these teams taking a more conventional approach as the last time they clashed on Domination, where both of them were just trading the basically A and C between the two of them. But Mindfreak, once again, stamping their control on this map, taking control of B. IFM now jumping onto the point, trying to get some progress onto it, and they will be able to convert. And now that begins to even up these points, even start to give a bit of a lead here for IFM. And things now perhaps be changing their way. Maybe this is the start of it. I'd love to see if IFM can maintain this control, and it seems to be down to their players. And looking at Fiend, I'm looking at Danger to really start fragging out and give them back this control that they need so dearly.
And as great as Supreme is, he's at a disadvantage, unable to use a scope on a map like this, and especially at the pace of play. So maybe Mindfreak's lineup is just feeling a bit of shock without my darling in there with Tucker in, or IFM have really stepped up to the plate. It's to be seen, but it's all in favor of IFM right now. They're fragging confidently, they're working well together, and they're just taking control of this map really well. And they're knowing they're pulling back where it counts, because B on standoff is in such an exposed position from utilities and overheight fire that if you can hold it but sit back and stay safe, then the other team really can't get to it.
And the other thing to take into account here as well is the adrenaline's pumping. Yes, it's a community challenge, but both these teams have been playing this for the past month. This is something they've been working to. There is money on the line. And if IFM can control that adrenaline, that this is basically do or die, they might be able to push it to their advantage. And you can see they are taking this map through. They're beginning to push away with this lead, 51-31. IFM really are hungry to continue their survival in this map and possibly take it to a game 4.
Yeah, and you can see this tank and this statue coming into tactical play for IFM here, and just keeping Mindfreak off B. So it's really all about getting that middle point and then just keeping it. Oh my gosh, the fighter up and behind Mindfreak there, just sending them home, using that statue as cover and elevation so well, and that's what we're talking about. B is such a difficult point to take on standoff. Unfortunate for Mindfreak there, and so well positioned by the fighter.
I really love the strategy they put into place here. As soon as they manage to clean up a number of the members, jump back, remove that progress. Mindfreak, though, starting to fight back on C. They might be able to get control, and they do. 3 members strong. There was someone trying to mow them down, but it wasn't going to be enough as soon as they all twitched in return. A might be the response, though, coming across from IFM, and it seems that in the end, it will be a good lead. Looking pretty good here for IFM, 75-44. Things beginning to change around, and IFM, they're hungry for that 4th map. Mindfreak want to close this out, but they seem to be dealing with a completely different IFM now.
Yeah, absolutely. The groove is in here, and you've got both Danger and the fighter putting up such big frags on the board, working hard, and that's exciting. IFM's finding a bit of groove here. The Annihilator comes out on the fighter as he just dives down, but Riker finds him in the side face and sends him home with his own Annihilator, picking up 2. Natty responds with 2. The Annihilators are just going out everywhere, left, right, and center, as they say, well, let's just frag each other up and open up the map. Chill getting a good elevated position there to pick up 2. 3, Dinka responds. The fighter sends Chill home. This is just such a great little tussle that we're seeing on this map. Mindfreak almost getting B, but unfortunately they can't keep a body on. They do. They get another foot on the point just to close it out. Now it's all onto IFM to try and take that center point, or potentially work around to C.
Well, let's look to see what the choice is going to be. I mean, I love what these players are doing. They understand now it is the go time. They're pulling out the big guns. Finally, Mindfreak are beginning to push back some of control. But Mindfreak looking for that total domination. They're onto A now. Have they spread themselves too thin? IFM need to stop this from going down. And it's going to be a total domination for Mindfreak. That lead that IFM was able to pull up has now beginning to disappear right in front of our eyes. 89, it will be stuck on that point. C seems to be under contention, but Mindfreak now well and truly in a convincing position here. And IFM are scrambling across the board to try and stop this, but Mindfreak just seem to be too good across the board, getting frags left, right, and center. C finally under contention here for IFM. They've managed to take it back, and they've stemmed the bleed, and that lead that they managed to build up just disappearing in front of our eyes.
Absolutely. That was an incredible play by Mindfreak. They capitalized on the fact they picked up B and just went straight for C after that. And that really messed up IFM's gameplay there. I just, how do you recover from such a whomping? IFM really needing to put the work in now to just keep this tiny lead that they have that is just slowly evaporating before their eyes. That is what Mindfreak can do. That is the potential of a strong team in a game like this. It was such a beautiful execution. These angels just coming out in favor of Mindfreak as well, face checking each other, getting in nice and close, and Mindfreak just proving that on an individual level they have a little more sauce on the side.
Well, it seems like for the longest time on this map, Mindfreak have finally taken the lead. IFM very close by as well. They're putting some progress onto A, but very short-lived. Mindfreak again doing their due diligence, making sure to clear these players off the points here. Now, a few more frags are going to be coming down in the end. All these players just trading out left, right, and center. But of course, the objective is the key point here. Going to be moving around the tank here. We'll be able to get another frag off the back of it. B still under control of Mindfreak. IFM are running out of time. They're running out of options. They need to either get some point back right here, right now, or it's going to be them forced to look for a complete domination. And that's something that's a very tall ask against Mindfreak.
Absolutely. I mean, look, this is really neck and neck. I have to say, IFM are putting on all the stops. They're keeping themselves in. They've got their nails dug in. They got their teeth bit in. They are not letting this go. But Mindfreak are just saying, guys, this is us. We're here to win. If you don't have anything more than that, I'm sorry. We're going to pack you up and send you home. The Fiend picking up quick frags and behind there, but it's not enough to open up B. You have to clear out the elevation and the back of sight there. Otherwise, B's just going to stay in control for Mindfreak. Can they get it? They do. Great frags, but Chill's already up in behind, reopening up B for Mindfreak. This is really coming down to the wire. It's so close that if IFM did manage to hold on to B, they might have been able to close it out. But this is just not working out for IFM. There's 5 more points to gain for Mindfreak. They're 2 up on the board. IFM are so far away from this. They need to pick up a total domination to stop and just absolutely put a clamp on the points. They need to do something. It is going in favor of Mindfreak. The final point goes on the board. They win the 3rd map, the final map of Season 3. That was the final matchup of Season 3, Call of Duty Mobile Community Challenge, ANZ, between IFM and Mindfreak. And once again, we have a champion. We have a finalist who takes out the big spot, Mindfreak. Congratulations to them and well done. And big scores on the board by Chill.
Yeah, an absolutely monstrous fight there coming through from Chill. They are the champions being crowned here. Let's put it out there. It was expected. They were predicted from the beginning. This is a team that puts so much preparation into it. And just look at how big that is. A massive congratulations coming through from Mindfreak. Mao, you said it yourself. You couldn't see it happening any other way. What's your feeling on that finish?
Yeah, even though I couldn't really see it coming, I'm very impressed by the performance that IFM did have in that first half. As they did end the half with quite a solid lead, and just like that meme says, they had us in the first half, not gonna lie. However, it was Mindfreak that just went crazy in the second half, and they had a triple cap at one point, and they just deserved that win.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous way for Mindfreak to come back. And again, we couldn't expect it any other way. They understood if they got that total domination and held on to 2, it would be easy pickings. And yeah, they didn't get the lead directly afterwards, but they did hold on to 2, and that meant that they were able just to take away this win. Kwan, what a finish on that set of things. I mean, you're laughing at me at the moment.
I was excited. I mean, I like that IFM put in all the stops right up to the end. That was close. It was pretty close, but Mindfreak proved they could be, they are going to be the 3-peat seasonal champion, and they're probably going to continue that pathway as we go forward. I really was holding hope out that maybe it was Pride X or maybe it was IFM who would pull up something to really come out into the finals and show Mindfreak, there's others here who can play at your level. But once again, Mindfreak are the ones who come out on top.
Absolutely, in that sense as well. I think we do maybe need to bring up the brackets if they're available, just to see everything again. I mean, that journey the entire way through for the finals here. Pretty excited in that sense. Or maybe not bring up the brackets in that sense, but I think they are ready to roll. Let's bring them up to see how it's going to pull up at the very end of it. And as you can see there, guys, when it does get ready to come onto the screen,
It is again Mind Freak with that 3-0, that 3-1, and at the very end there, it hasn't been completed, that 3-0 once again. This is what we expected. IFM was the second seed. They put up a valiant fight, a very good effort. There were definitely signs of life where they showed they could be competitive, and hopefully next time around they can bring their game. Still second place. A massive congratulations there through to IFM to pull that through and to obviously beat out Pride X Ivory to take that rank. Mal, is there any final thoughts on the day that you'd like to reveal, say to the team, put it out there for everyone to see?
Well, it's been a very big honor commentating these amazing teams go head to head, and I'm very happy with the shows and the games that we have been able to commentate. So I just want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity.
It's been a pleasure, Mal. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating with you. Unfortunately, I missed most of season 3. You know, my schedule wasn't permitting me to be here, and Mendrix stepped up to the plate. So thank you, Mendrix. You've been doing a great job hosting throughout. But Mal, your knowledge, your fan base, your history in the Call of Duty community has been such a pleasure to watch over the season, and to be co-commentating with you over this grand finals weekend has been an absolute utter pleasure. And I couldn't be more thankful to all the players who came into this finals with just so much to offer. They took it so seriously, and they brought such incredible stuff for the three of us to be looking at and discussing and, you know, sharing with all of the viewers at home and across the world. So, you know, absolutely big pleasure, Mal. Thank you for being here.
No worries.
Yeah, I really also want to extend my thanks as well. And again, it's been absolutely invaluable to have you here with your knowledge throughout. So that's something I definitely couldn't have done without you. Believe me when I say that. And same to you, Kwan, as well. Thank you. I mean, you may not be here at the start, but you definitely came through for the finish at the very end. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you. And I think it's time for us to sign off the day. Kwan, do you have anything else you want to add before I close it out?
Yeah, look, final comments. Everybody around the world who's been sleeping on the ANZ region, keep your eyes out. We are going to come back with more competitions within this community, and there's so much talent growing out of this region, and hopefully it'll enter onto the world stage and you guys will get to see them play against other regions. But we are a strong region. Our players have talent. Mind Freak is one of, I would say, a world-class team who just needs an opportunity to get out there and take on some of the other players around the world. And big props to all of the players who played this season, and we hope to see you again.
Well, on behalf of the talent team, we'd like to thank Activision, AEL, the production team, and of course you, the community, players and viewers alike. Without this tournament, it would not be possible. So thank you very much for your support. Until next time, take care and stay safe.